My people, people, what is it? I am here. We are here together. Let's get it cracking. Hope everybody's doing well today. Hope everybody's doing great. Can't wait to talk to you guys. Can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to see what you guys are on, what you talking about, how you doing. You know what I'm saying? We here. We tapped in with the undefeated. That's what it is. That's what today is. That's what tomorrow is. That's what every day is. Shout out to Lady T in the background, doing her thing, keeping me straight as usual. Lady T on the wheels of steel, if you will. That's what I say. Absolutely awesome doing her thing, right? With the golden touch on the thing, on the mics, on all the bells and whistles to make this wonderful graphic. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to Kyle Henderson and Beard Life. Shout out to my boy. Shout out to Coach J, Coach Smook, Coach JM, Jake Merrill. Shout out to Ty Hayes, the administrator of it all, right? And shout out to the undefeated, man. You guys are absolutely awesome. Been missing you guys today, right? Tapping in with you to cover a few things. One more drink of cranberry juice and we off. Yes. Let's get to it, right? Glad to see you guys. Really excited for you guys to be up in here, man. Wanted to tap in with you for a minute, see what's cracking with you. Got a few topics, few important topics that I wanted to cover. Start out saying shout out to all my people in the chat. First of all, let me say shout out to Caitlin Engel. Shout out to Caitlin, man, my partner. You know what I mean? My Bama family for life. You know what I mean? Shout out to Caitlin. Much love to you, Caitlin. Much appreciation to you. Hope everything that's going on around you is okay. You always in my thoughts and prayers. You've been a supporter, a true Bama fan. Got much love for you. You know what I mean? We lean on each other in this chat, right? And you are freaking awesome, to be honest with you. Shout out to Caitlin Engel. Much love to her. That's my partner. Love her to death. That's what it is, for sure. Shout out to Jermaine Mills. What's up, Jermaine? How you doing, man? Kendall Curtis, what's up with you? Carla Bailey, what's up with you? How you doing? My partner, Caitlin, as I said. Sweet Home Bama 24, what's up with you? Kimberly Harmon. What's up, Kimberly? How you doing? I'm good, man. Blessed and highly favored, right? Beautiful day, right? Aaron McGuire, what's up with you, homie? How you doing? J. Cole, what's up with you, bro? Like that name, J. Cole, right? OG J. Towns, what's up, Jay? What's going on, bro? Jermaine Mills in the house, as I said. Carla, Stephen Craig is in the house. What's up with you? Jared, the hashtag king, is in here. Jordan 69 is in here. Ruben Poole is in here. Mike G is in here. Mickey Tate, y'all run those numbers up. We on. Tell everybody we on. Roll Tide to you, Mickey. How you doing, man? Hope your day going well, brother. Right? Randall Green is up in here. Dare D is in here. Marvin Waffle House is in here. Right? LaQuisha Gordon is in here. Bruce Seals is in here. Caleb Taylor is in here. Shout out to everybody in Undefeated. Hope everybody's having a great day. Let's run those numbers up. Tell everybody we in here so we can get to it, get it cracking. You know what I mean? Yeah, I popped up on you, didn't I, man? Crept up on you nice and quiet, right? Didn't even hear a brother coming, man. Right? What's up with you, man? How you guys doing? Roll Tide. The grind of being a college football head coach. You know what I mean? Everybody loves Ebony. What's up with you? How you doing, sweetie? Patriot Life. What's up, bro? What's cracking, man? How you doing, man? Lisa Lucht. How are you, Lisa? If I'm pronouncing that wrong, that last name wrong, please let me know, right? I do not like pronouncing people's last names wrong. I do not want mine pronounced wrong, right? So please let me know. Larry Large, what's up, Larry? Run those numbers up. I like that. Rodney Tuberville, what's up with you, man? How are you guys doing? Lucked. Okay. Lisa Lucked. How are you? That is freaking awesome. I love that. K Mac, what it is. How you guys doing? Thank you, T. You are freaking awesome as usual, right? What's up with y'all, man? How you guys doing, man? We in here. I want you guys to know the grind of being a head coach, a successful head coach. Is terrible. It is. It's a real grind. And I think sometimes we take it for granted, right? Emmanuel 2G's Leonard, what's up with you, bro? Roll Tide to you, bro. How you feeling, man? How you doing? How you feeling? Look at this blessed day we got, right? It could be thunderstorming, man. It could be tornadoes and all type of tornadic activity. Marquita, my neighbor, what's up with you, girl? How you feeling? How you feeling? How you doing? I'm good, blessed, and highly favored, man. Sweet Home Bama 24. Can't wait to hear your take on Cam. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that a little later as well. It's not on my topics, but I'm gonna get to it and put a little spin on it. You know what I mean? Antonio Snell, what's up with you, bro? Pink, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? Hope everything going well with your friend. How you doing, man? Kimberly Harmon, all the homies in here, all my home girls in here, all the Bama family. The undefeated is just what it is, undefeated. Carla Bailey's in here, Lisa Tuberville. The homie Patriot Life is always knocking the door down. Tink is always knocking the door down. Love when you guys up in here, man. Love when you guys up in here for sure, right? I wanted to speak on this real quick because that boy alone. What's up, that boy alone? How you doing, man? Pleasure to meet you, bro. Right? KT is in here. KT, what it is? How you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? That's what I want to know. Antonio Snell, what's up with you, man? Life's good. Hey, man, it could be worse, Antonio. You 100% correct, bro. You 100% correct. Caitlin, my partner Caitlin is already in here, of course, right? But I think sometimes, guys, Matt Funds, I got to keep stopping when I see new people, man. I want you guys to run the numbers up. Let's get up in here. Let's talk about it. I think sometimes, guys, we take for granted, and it's easy to do when you're at Alabama. It's easy to do when you're at Alabama, right? We've won so much here that it's easy to take it for granted, man, when we've won so very much here. Right. I think that's why the world is always on us when we lose. It's because we won so much. Right. But I do think sometimes people don't realize how hard it is to win a championship. Most people don't realize how hard it is to win a championship. You must have great players, great coaches. But then you got to have the stars be just aligned just right. And that formula from Nick Saban's process, which is based on focus, discipline, hard work, and relentlessness, competitive spirit, all those got to be combinations of what you have, man. What's up, Jarvis? What up, Jarvis? What's going on with you, bro? Yeah, that's facts, man. Caleb Graham, what's up, bro? That's a fact. You know, you got to have all these different things, man, when you're talking about a championship team, right? Right, Jarvis? You got to have all these different things, man. You know, forget the fact that you got to have a great fan base pushing you from behind. Forget the fact you got to have money and administration and people willing to fly around and see these recruits all over the country, right? You got to have all that. Then you got to have relentlessness, toughness, discipline, hard work, some type of competitive spirit that where you hate to you hate to lose more than you love to win, right? GT18, what's up, bro? So those are all the things and all the ingredients you need for a championship squad, right? Great coaching staff, right? Great administration. With Coach Caleb DeBoer, new offensive philosophies require developing new defenses, right? New offense, new defense, right? All these changes to recruiting, all these changes to the rules, to the calendar of recruiting, all these different things prompt some type of adjustment for Alabama, right? Losing coaches to competitive programs, bringing in new staff, implementing NIL rules, rules for the transfer portal. You know, when you look at all the bad things that could happen, think about back to 2011 when the tornado ripped through Tuscaloosa and shook every player, every student, every resident to the core, right? But the team lost no time in helping, man. They helped, right? They got out there, people that needed food, water, clothing, right? They helped clean up for days, right? And weeks that followed. Coach Saban's, if I remember his kids foundation, was also able to build several Habitat for Humanity homes for those who lost everything. COVID-19, it proved to be new and unique, a whole nother set of challenges, right? But in that same season, 2020, we finished with a perfect record. So you look back on all this stuff, man, and it all equals the grind. What do I call the grind, right? The grind is from day one to day whatever to the end. That's the grind. Everything you go through, guys, is the grind of a football season. Our satisfaction was not from the rewards, right, at the end of the season, but rather from the daily toil and the daily grinding of the schedule, right? Hiring a staff, which is a revolving every year, evaluating talent, entertaining recruits and their families, man, flying across the country to visit recruits in their schools and homes, teaching life skills to the team. What else? Motivating and helping with guest speakers from everybody from Kobe Bryant to Alex Rodriguez to Michael Phelps to Mike Tyson to Ken Griffey Jr. to Stephen A. Smith, right? Maintaining good mental health and physical, because mental health is a big thing for these kids nowadays. Traveling for away games on weeks at a time, hotels, buses, handling discipline, academic reports. It's so much that go into this, guys. It's so much that go into a successful football season outside of the product that we see on Saturday, right? It's so much that these coaches have to deal with, man. Radio shows, media days, building relationships with players who are the heart and soul of any program, right? So you watch these young men become a team. You watch them commit to each other, their goals. The practices are long and hot, overcoming injuries. You go through all these things, man, from game one to game whatever. And when I say whatever, I mean playoff games, SEC championship, whatever you make it to, right? From the first game to whatever, right? You go through everything I just listed. You go through it all, man. And what's the icing on the cake for a successful college football head coach, right? A successful college football playoff head coach. What's the icing on the cake, right? If the daily grind was the recipe, man, for the cake, then the icing was made up of what combination of many other memories, man. It was made up of all the memories, right? Preparing for a house of company, putting on a pot of chili and pepperonis in the stove for recruits, sharing Thanksgiving dinner with your family and your friends and your teammates and your players, right? Karaoke with recruits and bonding with their mamas and dads and family members, right? Tubing on Lake Tuscaloosa with Coach Saban, throwing them off the inner tube, right? All those kind of things, man. Bringing in clear purses and shakers to the games, right? Laying out red game day outfits. All that stuff going to a Saturday, man, right? Shout out to Patriot Life for gifting 5 Bama. Look at Patriot Life. Shout out to Patriot Life, man. Shout out to you, Patriot Life. We appreciate you, man. Gifted 5 Bama football on YouTube with Kyle Henderson memberships to people so we can get everybody in the green, man. Shout out to you, Patriot Life. You're much appreciated, man. Thank you for that. As always, thank you for that. I know the staff appreciates it. I certainly appreciate it. And I really, really, really thank you for that, man. Appreciate you, brother. Roll Tide. Stephen Angle, what's up with you, bro? How you feeling? Ty Alexander, what's up, bro? Sean Wiley, how you guys doing, bro? Hope everything's okay. But again, seeing the white tents on the quad, right? Taking a walk right through the Walk of Champions, watching the team come down the Walk of Champions, right? Experience a packed Brian Denny, right? Listening to the $1 Million Band, singing Sweet Home Alabama, Yay Alabama, watching the team coming out to Thunderstruck, right? Eating them hot dogs at the stadium, right? Hearing the students sing their version of Dixieland Delight, the good version, the one with the profanities, right? The cheerleaders, the flyovers, what else? The big rivalries, all this stuff, man. All of this stuff is from game one to game whatever, right? All of these things you pack into a season, right? And a good, successful head college football playoff coach go through all of this, through everything I just named, the ups and the downs, right? So when you look at all those things, the loyal fans, Big Al, just everything, man, that goes into a successful season. That's what it's about. It's a grind. It's a grind. The constant improvement of football facilities, to stay ahead of everybody else. The LED lights, right? The weekly calls from the athletic director. It's so much stuff that go into a successful football season with a successful football coach, right? So you got to give a big shout out to all the administrators, everything that Coach Saban had to do, everything that Coach DeBoer will do, right? Everything that makes you a successful college football playoff coach. The grind is just what it is. The grind, man. You know, and we got to remember that as fans. We have to remember that as fans. We got to remember that the grind is the grind, and it starts now in the spring. It starts now. What's up, Dr. 334? Shout out to you, man. Glad to see you in here, bro. Sean Williams, what's up, bro? Run those numbers up, man. Thank you, guys, man. So it is what it is, guys. That's what makes a successful college football head coach, man. When you can take everything I just listed, put it into a package, and be successful at it, man. Right? Exactly. Chilling and enjoying the chat with the Bama family, even a beautiful chat like we have, right? It all goes hand in hand. Wait till the season start. Wait till the season start. Dark Winged Up, what's up with you, bro? How you feeling, man? Glad you up in here, bro. You know what I'm saying? You already know, Dr. 334. Glad you in here, brother. All of those things, man. Wait till the season start. You got to remember, guys, we've been lit, right? And it's just February. It's just February, right? So we're going to cover Coach DeBoer. We're going to cover his staff. Man, we're going to get it cracking, man. You already know, Sean. You already know, brother. Ricky Smith, what's up, bro? We're going to get it cracking with everything that's Bama news. And you take all of that, and all of that is what makes a successful college football head coach at the University of Alabama. It's a grind, man. It's a straight up grind, right? And I think we have the perfect man for it, Coach DeBoer, right? I think we have the perfect man for it. Aaron McGuire, what's up with you, brother? Joseph Davison, roll tide to you both, man. So I'm very excited about that, man. So EA Sports, right? These guys are coming out with this college football game, right? And I hadn't really, I'm a Madden guy. We play Madden for money. We gamble on the Madden, $10 games, $5 games. Bruce Seals, what's up, bro? GT18. But this college football game will be the top selling game that they have ever had, right? That's a whole fact, man. Caitlin, we love you back. That's a whole fact. You better believe it. 100%. This college football game is going to have 134 FBS teams on it. So that means my alma mater will be present, right? So I think I'm going to have to buy it, man. This game is probably going to change the way we look at college football, because it's going to have a lot of different things, a lot of different aspects of today on it. I know people who are not even into gaming and playing those games that are going to buy this one, right? Because the college football game hadn't been out. Roll Tide, Chapman family. What's up with you, Chapman family? What's going on, bro? Roll Tide, man. You know what I mean? So Chapman family, roll tide to you. It's good you guys are up in here, man. So I think this game is going to break a record for games, especially in the South. When you're talking about Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, all the southern states, Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma, this game is probably going to break barriers, records of all, because people been waiting on this college football game, man. Right? I know, like I said, I know people that's not even really gamers that are becoming gamers because of this game. I read a lot of different things about how people were so clamoring for this game that they had to break it down and restructure everything they were coming out with it. So they're redoing everything. They paid the kids. I think each kid who opts in gets $600, a copy of the game, right? With your life album, your face, and your ratings and all of that stuff on it. So it's kind of neat how they're doing the young men, right? But I think the kids realize this game is going to change history, right? With the new playoff coming in, with the new rules, the transfer portal that's going to be on the game, and all of these different things that's so realistic, right? This game is probably going to be one of those ones that even people like myself go by just because you want to see it in college football. Because believe it or not, guys, college football outside of NFL football is the biggest sport right now. college football is a multi-billion-dollar business right now. Now, we all know the NFL is number one when you talk about monetary dollars, but college football is an absolute beast right now, right? What's up, Jim? How you doing, man? OC Jim Parker, what's going on? Let's see what Jim say. Jim said, Coach, if you play as Bama, you get upset. The fan will storm the field. Yeah, I heard that. Man, I want everybody to look at that comment what Jim said. On the game, on the previews, I read that if you play for Bama, if you play at Bama and a team upsets you, they storm the field on the game. That is crazy, bro. I'm liable to toss that, man. That's crazy. Shout out to Jim. That's a whole fact, Jim. That is crazy, man. So this game is going to be really, really, really ridiculous, right? The FCS schools will not be available, but they do have the first official teaser for that game. It's crazy because the video game developer used the release of the college football game every year, but was forced after the 2013 antitrust lawsuit against the NCAA reached the Supreme Court. They were forced to do a deal with the college players. So I think the college players are not really caring about the money. They just want to be in the game, right? You gave me $600. You gave me a free copy of the game. My face is going to be on there. My name is going to be on there, right? Uh-oh. Shout out. Who is this setting it off already? Shout out to Sixth Street. Sixth Street. Is that I'm saying it right? Love everything you guys do for us. I'm so proud to be a part of this movement. $5 super chat from Sixth Street. You guys are awesome. Thank you. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, Sixth Street, please let me know. Thank you so very much for that $5 super chat. You know, that is very, very, very generous of you. Thank you so very much from the entire staff. We say thank you. We really, really, really appreciate you helping us. And I can promise you that everybody's very, very, very humble and thankful for it, man. We really appreciate that. That's a whole fact. Byron Walker said, Coach, did you live in Birmingham? No, I never lived in Birmingham. Just played there in the Classic every year. Never lived there. Got a lot of former teammates, a lot of former bros that's in Birmingham. A lot of my partners that went to school with me are from Birmingham. Probably the most are from Birmingham. So very familiar with the whole city, though. Been doing Birmingham for a long, long, long time, but never lived there at all. Shout out to Ty Alexander. Ty Alexander's coming through. $10 super chat. Coach Sean. Go get you a Baconator from Wendy's on me, fam. I'm eating. Hey, Ty, you crazy, man. That sounds good right about now, but I'm trying to get his figure back, man. Them Baconators, man. I'm trying to stay away from them, bro. Here's the key, Ty. The key is not to smell it. If you smell it, your goose is cooked, bro. I'm going. You know what I mean? So I got in the smell of good fresh bacon, bro. If I smell it, man, I'm going. It's just like, I don't know if you guys see those cartoons where you see the aroma and the actual cartoon just be floating on the aroma. That's me with the bacon. So I would love one time, man. I appreciate you, my brother, but I'm trying to let it go, man. I'm trying my hardest, bro. It's difficult. It's like every time I do good, I see a damn commercial and it makes me hungry, right? So, brother, trying to get my sexy back. I'm doing good too, bro. I'm doing great, bro. Thank you, though, Ty, for that super chat, brother. We appreciate you more than you know, man. So, yeah, guys, it's going to be a big one. What do you guys think college football in 2024 is, man? You know what I mean? Hey, KT, you already know. Juvie, what's up, man? What's going on with you, man? How you doing, brother? Hope you're good to see you up in here, man. Jared, you already know, man. You already know. Sonic, what? Jared, come on now. Sonic is off. Well, let me say it like this, Jared. The Sonic up here is not very good to me, right? I think the one on County Line Road is better than the one over here on Madison Boulevard. It's awful, right? Terrible. The tater tots feel like rocks when you're chewing on them. They're terrible, right? Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate you, sweetie. Thank you so very much, man. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Ephraim up in here. What's up, OG Ephraim? What's going on, bro? Ephraim in the house, man. How you guys doing, man? So, yeah, man, Jermaine Mims said it best, man. What is college football today? Jermaine Mims say CFB college football is semi-pro. Hey, Jermaine, bro, you hit it right on the head, bro. It's going that way, man. I don't think people really realize what is going on in college football right now. Right? Oh man, KT, you in the ATL? Oh, you where all the good restaurants are, man. My cousin live in Mableton. I go see her all the time. She live in Mableton, Austell, you know what I mean? So I do the A-Town a lot as well, too. Um, A-Town is they have a lot of nice facilities that you can go to late at night and see some wonderful ladies of the night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, ATL is wonderful. Absolutely scrumptious. ATL. Yeah, but anyway, Alexander, you already know, man. I love the ATL. Trust me, Magic City took a lot of my money. You know what I mean? Good night, they did. Caitlin says, when my dad, get Caitlin. Caitlin says, when my dad was in Huntsville for months last year, finally got to try to caught Culver's in Madison. And the hype and expense. Yeah, it is, Caitlin. You know what I mean? The burgers are just so thin. Culver's is great. I like Culver's, but the patty about that little. It's I mean, you can poke up your finger through that thing, right? It's good food though. Good food, but not very fulfilling if you're hungry, right? And you're gonna pay $16,000 for it too, right? Larry Lodge, you already know Larry. Coach, you invite over to my house for some great chitlins. Chitlins, Larry. Listen, now my grandmama heard me say this, she'd be mad, but Larry, I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to do it, Larry, man. Ricky, man, Ricky. I keep thinking about chitlins. If you hear a crunch while you're eating, man, that's cooked doo-doo, bro. Doo-doo. BCs. No. Ricky, you my partner, man. Much love to you. Invite me over for some Heinekens or something. But chitlins, no, bro. I can't do the chitlins, man. That crunch is what I keep thinking about, man. That's cooked doo-doo, bro. No, I don't want to eat the doo-doo, bro. No, it's not for eating, bro. Absolutely not. My partner Ricky, though, I love you, brother. Shout out to Patriot Life. Patriot Life. Be that way. Happy 2nd and 26. Roll Tide Roll. By the way, exactly, man. Patriot Life. Patriot Life with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Patriot Life. Much love to you, brother. Thank you for that. As always, Juvie say Magic City got you. Man, Magic City got a lot of us in trouble, bro. I try to stay away from Magic City, man. Yeah, that ain't good for a brother mental. That place ain't good for a brother's mental at all, right? Yeah, them chitterlings, sweet home Bama. I just can't, man. Hey, bro, listen. Shout out to Jag. What's up, Jag? ATL again in the house, man. Yeah, Jag. What's up to you? How you feeling? How are you feeling? Hope everything going good with you. Hope your day going good. So I'm going to ask you guys, what is college football, man? To you right now, what is college football? Do you get the same feelings you guys did 5 years ago? I mean, do you think things are going so new age that you're sort of losing yourself in everything other than Alabama? What is college football? Well, let me give you a brief overview of what college football is. And I call it 1st and 10 because, that's the first down, right, of the series. 1st and 10 is always the first down, right? I want you to know that I don't want to get on my soapbox because I'll be on that thing till tomorrow at 6:30, right? Byron Walker, that was a good one, Byron. Byron says, Coach, we need to do eat Big Bob. Give us some barbecue one day. Hey, A-Day, man. Byron, if you come into A-Day, we gonna eat everywhere. All of us is gonna have to put on some pounds that weekend. And just what it is, right? We can work it off later, right? Everybody come to A-Day. We gonna gather up, man. We gonna eat. We gonna have a good time, man. Lynn Shannyfelt. Lynn, what's up, Lynn? How you doing, man? Former Bama player right there. Super dog, man. Know what it feel like to put that crimson on. Shout out to Lynn, man. Much love to Lynn with a $10 super chat. The players in today's game got it made. It's better than the pros because they make money. And if they get pissed, they can leave and go to another team. I mean, they can. That's a whole fact, Lynn. I'm about to get into it. College football. Hey, Ricky, what Ricky Smith said, college football is money, a business. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you for that, brother. Thank you, and roll tide to you and your family, man. So if we have to stop and look at what it is, right, and start focusing on what it is, It almost took 150 years, but the university presidents have finally come around, per se, right? By force, by threat, or by inability. You know what I mean? To the reality that college football is a player's game nowadays. No matter how much we want to deny it or look at it differently, these players are dictating what's going on, right? I still vividly remember when Bob Stoops was sitting in his office before the 2008 season, I think it was, pointing to Owen Field on campus of Oklahoma, telling them that that's what makes magic. That's what makes magic, right? He was talking in context about how the college game was unique because players and stars came and went, but the university was always there, right? Players and stars come and go, but the university was always there, right? So when you leave, there'll be another one, right? There'll be another star. When that one leaves, there'll be another one, right? So 16 or so years later, the players are the game, right? Just like the NFL, the players are the actual game, right? And in college football, when you have these things going on with kids, what's up, Ebony? Shout out to Ebony and the Carter family. Shout out to the young baller himself, Noah. What's up with you, Noah? The players are the game, guys, right? That's difficult for hardcore fans to really hear. Some hardcore fans, right? The older fans, that's difficult for them to hear. But when you have the SEC and the Big Ten to begin their newly reshuffle board, right, together with 16 and 18 teams respectively, right, they'll each earn 1.4 billion annually in media rights, right? Think about that. That's the most that the conferences have ever earned on media rights alone. That's media rights alone, right? Add to that another 1.6 annually for the expanded playoff, right? Take 3 of those off to go to the administrators. It'd be about 1.3 at the end of that, right? Then you add in 800 more million annually for the media rights for the Big 12 and the ACC, and you're looking at a Power 4 conference clearing about 5.5 billion annually, right? Hell, the NBA earns 2.7 billion annually on TV money. MLB is, I think, 1.76, and the NFL is about 13.5 billion for 2024. Well, this is college football hanging right in there with these guys. College football is the second biggest sport in the world, well, not in the world, but in the United States, behind NFL football. Now, the world, you're talking about soccer, right? By far, soccer. But when you're talking about in the United States, it's NFL, then college football. All facts. So this is why you have everybody want to get a piece. The streaming services, all the apps. Everybody want a piece of college football right now. So before the argument turns to teams and games and content, understand that the Big Ten, the SEC, with 34 combined teams, could go at it alone. The SEC and the Big Ten don't even need nobody else if you want the truth, and still earn $4 billion annually in media rights just for football games. That's not even counting basketball. That's not even counting girls softball, which is huge. Girls softball is huge, right? The other stuff, all that other stuff, man. So I don't know where we're going to go from this, but you better believe money makes the wheels turn, right? Money makes the wheels turn, man. And right now, that's what's running college football. And it's not going to go backwards, guys. It's not going back to what it was, right? So we got to adjust to what's in front of us. We got to adjust to the things in front of us that make Alabama great. I think Alabama has the resources to be great in any era of football, whether it's this present day era, the past era, the future era. Alabama, the University of Alabama, is the most watched football team in college football. The biggest social media platform, right? Alabama has played in 5 of the top 11 top games that's ever been played in the last 15 years, right? All these different squads, Alabama has been in 5 of those, right? So The brand of University of Alabama is going to sit at the top of the water no matter what they say, no matter what they do. Bama is going to be Bama, right? But I worry about the other stuff. Chris from New Jersey, what's up, bro? Tim Nolan, what's up, bro? I worry about the other stuff, the thinking differently part, right? The biggest misnomer of college football outside of NIL is the transfer portal. Now, ask yourself, is the transfer portal a good thing for college football? I think it is. I think I'll be the one to say I think the transfer portal is great, but I do think you got to have some limits on transferring. I don't want to see a kid transfer 3 times like I'm seeing now. I mean, how do you enjoy your college football experience transferring 3 times? My college football years was the best years of my life, right? I think back to those times all the time, man. I have friends and teammates that I'll have forever because of those years, right? I mean, those were just the best years of that I can remember outside of having my daughter. Those were the best years of my days, man. So when you transfer 2, 3 times, how do you even enjoy your college life? How do you even enjoy that? You're making new friends every year. You're breaking in a new team every year. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, now it's roster management. Roster management. Roster management is the lifeblood of your sport that we all love. Right, Lynn? Right, Lynn Shanifeld? Roster management. What I mean by roster management is you can't be happy just with recruiting the transfer portal. You have to recruit the players on your damn roster to make them stay. That's what the difference is today. You can't just be happy with pulling out a great player out of the transfer portal, right? We got to make sure that the kids on roster stay here because these other rosters are trying to poach them. So that's the quality and a thing of college football that I hope they fix that. It's just big business, guys. It's big business. It's shared revenue, right? Anytime you have shared revenue and it's at its all-time high, man, you're going to have people just doing what they want to do. They want the money. The money drives everything. But I will say this, the SEC and the Big Ten, they didn't just magically decide one day that what's good for college football, right? You're seeing things slowly change, guys. Look at the NCAA. They have been willingly wheeled with no power. They tried it. Tennessee, and you know me, I don't like Tennessee at all. But Tennessee pretty much mooned the NCAA. They unbuttoned their pants and they mooned them, right? And the NCAA, they couldn't do a damn thing but just take it. And that is the beginning of the end, right? Of this conglomerate of rules that these people make up, right? I think that's the beginning of the end. So how do we move forward? How do we move forward undefeated? What do we do? How do we move forward? Bruce Seal said it best, right? How do we move forward though, Bruce? What do we do from this day forward? How does it all work? Right? That's what the new partnership between the SEC and the Big Ten is about to find out. In a perfect world, shared revenue includes collective bargaining, which leads to both sides winning, right? Players want revenue, universities want control. They want to control the revenue, right? Unlike the NFL, right? This lead up or this narrative from coaches and administrators that pay for play is different than NIL. They established that, right? It's impactful. It's impactful, guys. It's impactful, man. I'm telling you. Always remember this, man. A lie don't care who tell it. Please remember what I'm telling you. A lie don't care who tell it, right? Just because an administrator put on a nice $2,000 suit, nice hair done well, and good jury, and he speaks fluently. A lie don't care who tell it, especially when you're trying to acquire Benjamin Franklin's. Please don't forget that, man. Don't lose sight of that, right? The truth will always be in the details, man. No matter what, the truth is in the details. And the details are college football has changed. and it's constantly changing as we speak. Hell, they can't even agree on what the playoff is going to be. We said 12 teams, right? Now they talking about going to 16 in 2026. Money, money, my people, money, more Benjamins, right? So the next administrator that you hear tell you it's about the student athletes, the student. Go in your refrigerator, take out a piece of bologna and throw it at him. It's not about the student athlete. It's about money, more games, more money, more bowl games, more money, right? So you got to weigh it all, guys. You got to weigh it all. And, what will this new world look like? What will this new world look like? Right? Contracts, right? Collective bargaining contracts. It's about retention. You know what I mean? And college football is here. It's a business. It is a straight business now, and you have to handle it like such. I look at Coach DeBoer and his track record. If Alabama's going to survive the transition from the greatest coach of all time to Coach DeBoer, it's going to be because Coach DeBoer's track record of developing quarterbacks, to me, right? Beyond his work at the NCAA lower divisions in football, look at Coach DeBoer's quarterbacks over the last two previous FBS head coaching jobs, Fresno State and Washington. Look at his two quarterbacks. He arrived at Fresno State in 2020. Got Washington transferred to throw for a career high, right? Got a transfer from Washington to throw for career highs in all his stats, right? I think his last name was Heener. He threw for 4,000 yards, 33 some odd touchdowns. And Fresno State won 9 games. Fresno State sucked till he got there, right? Then he takes the Washington job in 2022, reunites with Michael Penix from Indiana. And this dude was a Heisman Trophy candidate, right? And some think he should have won it, right? So you look at Coach DeBoer, and we're not lacking in anything with the offensive coaches he's brought in, with the defensive coaches he's brought in. We're not lacking anywhere. Now, the world thinks we are. The world thinks we're just going to fall off the face of the earth. It's dead. We're over. We getting slapped, disrespected by every single school you can freaking name of, right? So the spring is hella important, guys. It's hella important. I cannot stress to you the power and the importance of spring football going into your first year with a brand new coach, a brand new staff, a brand new attitude, a brand new offense, a brand new defense, right? It is exceptional that spring football is right around the corner. They're about to start practicing. The practices are going to be tough, right? Just as they should be, right? If you got a little case of the poor me's in you, we got to get rid of them, right? And football is a game that don't allow you time to get your violence level ready. Football is a violent game, right? And it's either destroy or be destroyed. That's football. That's what my old coach used to say, right? It's either destroy or be destroyed, right? Because everybody want to play. You got some talented freshmen that want to whip some ass, right? You got young Noah Carter coming in next year, along with some other young talented freshmen that want to whoop some ass, right? So spring football this year and next year, these next 2 years of spring football will be crucial, right? Let the games begin. Let the competition begin. That's what I say. Let the competition begin, man. Let's crank it up. And if it's like our college days, they'll come out the first couple of days in shimmels. Shimmels is the gray shirts and the gray shorts, and they'll condition. They'll get their mind right. They'll get everything right. They'll get in shape. They'll trim the fat, tool their bodies to run, things of that nature. A week later, they'll start putting on the pads. They'll probably put on shoulder pads and helmets. If not a couple of days. Pad scale, call that skeleton, right? And then the next week they go into full gear, baby. Full gear, clacking, Oklahoma's, everything. We getting down to the nitty gritty, right? So I can't wait, man. Undefeated chat talk. I want to know what's up, Kareem Hood? What's going on, bro? I ain't even see you in here, man. How you doing, fam? You all right? What you guys talking about, Rich B? I want to know, Rich B. Competition, you already said it. Zero sugar cranberry juice is absolutely outstanding. I don't know why my face so far. I don't like that. Just not noticing. Let's see. Host. Boom. Oh, there I go right there, boy. There I go. Yeah, my face always greasy. What the hell is going on, man? So, I need to know, what are you guys talking about, man? The champ, what's up, man? How you feeling? How you doing? Marvin Waffle House. 1 or 2 more days down here, and we heading back to Huntsville. Oh, that's what's up, Marvin. You come back this way. That's all good. Goofball. What's up, Goofball? Yeah, it's time. It's time. We're gonna have a lot to cover too. And the NFL Combine is starting. You know, I heard the coach call in this morning, was telling how he said Kool-Aid was probably gonna have the most to gain. I don't think so. I respectfully disagree. I think Kool-Aid is already gonna be a first or high second round pick. I don't think he can gain or lose anymore. I mean, he probably could gain more if he have a great workout, right? I think Justin Eboigbe and Chris Braswell are the two that could make themselves the most money. Justin Eboigbe did very well at the Senior Bowl, and they are high on Justin Eboigbe, right? Justin Eboigbe was probably going to be a 5th round pick. He's probably played his way into the 3rd or 2nd round, as well as Chris Braswell. You know, they love pass rushers. So, James Richards, what's up with you, bro? Shout out to the University of Georgia. What's up, James? How you feeling, bro? I think Justin Eboigbe and Chris Braswell have made themselves some money, probably more than anybody else. You know, obviously Terrion Arnold, we knew from the beginning of the season that kid is probably going to play his way into the 1st round, and he did, right? So, yeah, I think those guys, Justin Eboigbe and Chris Braswell, to me, have probably made themselves some big money. That's a whole fact. Ebony, I can't wait to get young Noah on campus, man, because they're going to put about 15 pounds on that kid. Noah looks like he's about 225 to me on when I watch him. 220, 225, somewhere in the 220s, right? Good size, good height. When he get to Bama, Ebony, they're going to teach him how to use his hands. You know, a kid like that is so athletic. He don't have to use nothing. He's just athletic. He's just a athletic synagogue, right? When you get to Bama, they're gonna teach him pass rushing moves, right? The way you can't block him, right? Oh, I know he's been lifting. I already know it. That kid gonna be a monster. I think if Noah plays defense, he's gonna be a 1st rounder, right? I think if he play defense, because his talent is what the NFL wants. They want those fast kids, those twitchy kids that can rush the passer. That's where the money at. Trust me, that's where the money at. What's up, Ruben Poole? How you doing, bro? Hope you guys okay, man. Yeah, man, we doing good, brother. We doing good. Just chatting with the undefeated now. My last few minutes, just trying to see what my undefeated's talking about. Coach Shane, in your personal opinion, if Coach KD has instant success, let me put you up here, Ruben. If Coach KD has instant success at Bama and the NFL comes calling, do you think he leaves? I know nobody knows but him and God, but your opinion, please. This is what I think, Ruben. I don't think Coach DeBoer left a great place in Washington to come to Bama to leave. I just don't think that. I think if he had intentions of moving to the NFL, he could have just stayed at Washington and did that, right? I'm sure they've already contacted him with the way his offenses have been playing, right? You don't leave a place like Washington where you made it to the national championship. You're a god there, right? You know, if you win 8 games at Washington, they're gonna build a damn statue of you, right? To take them to the national championship, I don't think you leave that job and come to Alabama only to leave. I don't think so, Ruben. I think that he's going to be here. I think that we got to be patient with him. It's a brand new coach. We did lose some players, but we got plenty of players back. I think we need to be patient with him, right? Give him, let's not get on him too bad. It's going to take some time for the chemistry to be built. This is a brand new defense, right? It's an offense that reciprocates around great receiver play, great offensive line play, right? I've been on record and told you how I feel about the 4-2-5. Some of my coaches disagree with me, you know what I'm saying? But this is just a personal thing for me. As an offensive guy, I know what kind of defense gave me the most problems. And it wasn't the 4-2-5, it was the 3-4. It was the 3-4 defense to where the outside guys could stand up or put their hand in the dirt and give me problems. It was the 3-4 defense that could do a lot of different things on the back end. The 4-2-5 for me was an easier defense to attack because of the overhang, because of the rover, because of the guys who the weak safety and the strong safety in this defense. Sometimes those guys don't want to tackle. Every team is not going to have safeties that want to tackle, right? Every team is not going to have a Caleb Downs. Every team is not going to have a Minka Fitzpatrick. Some teams are going to have safeties that'll play pass and don't want to tackle. Well, in this defense, if your safeties don't want to tackle, you're going to be in trouble, big trouble. If you let a team find that out, as Michigan did the first half, they're going to run the ball on you over and over and over and over again. You better have safeties in the 4-2-5 that can play. That's all I got to say. They better be able to play, man. They better get used to playing that linebacker-esque spot in this defense. Shout out to Lynn Shanifelt. So much, all facts, man. They better be able to tackle with this defense. And I know Alabama played some 4-2-5 last year in the grand scheme of things, 5 DBs, but that's situational football. Situational football is different than lining up in something in base. You know what I mean, Lynn, right? You could play anything. We played nickel a lot in situational football, right? When you have this 4-2-5, these outside linebackers that we recruited, like Trey Russo, is he going to be able to put his hand in the dirt and play defensive end? I don't know. He can't play safety. That's for damn sure. He's an outside linebacker, right? I've seen him in high school rush with his hand in the dirt. I don't know that he can do that in college. I have no clue. I don't know that Keon Keeley can do it. I have no clue. The young man didn't go to Ohio State because he didn't want to play in the even front. That's why he didn't go to Ohio State. He wanted to play with standing up in the 3-4. So I don't know, bro. We'll see though. We'll know very, very. Yeah. Shout out to Rich B. Facts, Rich B. What's up, Nicole Covington? How you doing? How are you? Good to see you up in here. Roll Tide to you, Nicole. Good to see you, man. For sure, Miss Covington. So I don't know, man. It's a great defense. It stops everything well, but we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see, Tink. We'll see how it go, man. What's up, Ty? How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. How are you, man? Good to see you. Got my boy Miro checking in. Hold on, let me add Miro. Let me change the graphic. Boom, 2 people. Add the stage. Boom. What's up, Miro?
What's going on, Coach Sean?
How you feeling, man? You doing good?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's a good night, good evening on a Monday, which is crazy, man. It feels like the weeks that go by so quick when you're outside the season in general, So I mean, I love that. But there's so much, kind of cool stuff too going on within the program. I mean, there's so many announcements, and obviously you're hitting it on the head. Like, dude, I love your categories tonight. Grind of the head coach, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. I just want to cover a few things and tell people the ins and outs of what go into this thing. That product you see on Saturday is a product of a long week of. You know how I go, Miro.
Oh my! What's funny is I was talking with my brother-in-law. Okay, mm-hmm. And he actually played at a big time school down in California. right, that plays against some of these others, and at high school, and he, one of the guys he's talking about, just with going through kind of some of the stuff and what goes on, right, is he was talking about being a freshman running back because he played varsity all 4 years, really good running back. Probably could have gone somewhere real big, but had some injuries. Me and you had talked about that last time a little bit.
Yeah,
and he's talking about playing against like Vontez Perfect when he was a freshman, and Vontez was a senior, and he says, dude, he was just crazy. But we were talking about these different schools, and from like even the college level, but now especially with the high school schools, man, just the off-season grind that goes on.
Yes.
Because even these major big high schools, and California is an interesting one. I just bring it up because of the fact that there seems to be, Saban established a pretty good pipeline into like modern day, right? But I think we're going to see that really grow coming from the connection that was made at University of Washington with KD and company that has come now to Alabama. But you look at some of these huge schools, man, and like I said, we covered a little bit of last time, but their off-season programs at some of these high schools are just as grueling as what you're seeing in colleges today. Maybe not necessarily Alabama and some of these SEC schools who have like, premier stuff, but man, I'll tell you what, like it's crazy the off season,
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. I know exactly what you mean. Ronald Thompson says Coach Sean is Bama going after the offensive lineman that transferred from SMU. I don't know. I don't know if they're going after him, right? I looked at the young man. I hadn't seen him play. I just saw a picture of him.
Yeah.
And he had little bitty ankles. I don't like offensive linemen with little bitty ankles. Like he has some little tiny, you know what I mean? Little tiny ankles. I mean, don't get me wrong. That don't mean nothing. No. It's just rare to see big offensive line with these little bitty tiny ankle like a basketball player. So maybe he's athletic. I don't know, Ronald. Mm-hmm. I can imagine if the young kid has talent like that, they will. Because when you get a kid that play at that level, if he's got 2-3 years of good starting tape on him, right? You can always hone his skills, man. You can always hone his skills and things of that nature. Merrill, I'm gonna tell him this, and I'll get up out of here for you. I was just telling him that, when I played offense, the 4-2-5 for me, I used to like teams. Grambling used to always be in a 4-2-5. So did Southern. I used to like the teams that lined up in the 4-2-5 because we could always pick on wherever they rover wasn't at. We pick on the unbalancedness of it, right? The 3-4 for me, teams, we played Tulane one year and they was in a 3-4. And man, they had two dogs at linebackers. They had a Dallas Turner and a Will Anderson type esque guy. Whoa. I don't even remember their names, but them boys we couldn't do nothing. Like the teams that ran 3-4 and that had the ability, because if you don't got the tools to run a 3-4, you can't really be successful with it. You got to have the right tools. They was doing so much on the back end, man. It just gave us a lot of problems. The 3-4 defenses always gave me a lot of problems. The 4-2-5 was straight. Yeah, but I don't have a lot of experience going against that defense. But maybe a couple of times, and it was never that difficult, right?
Well, and let me tell you, Coach. Like you make an interesting point with that 4-2-5 because truthfully, the 4-2-5 is meant to run with like undersized teams, right? So like meant to give you an advantage based on kind of like again making from a run game standpoint into like flowing into lanes, right? Into alleyways where everybody just collapses on. And it's meant to run with a smaller personnel. So if you really teams only look at it from a standpoint of saying, okay, we do this because we don't have the personnel to run like a 4-3. Yes. What's interesting, I think, is or 3-4 even. But what's interesting is with Alabama, and I think the way because Womack has some unique twists on it that are I have noticed are different from like the way Gary Patterson even ran it. Okay, where you will see he brings. So he really, what's unique, I think the biggest part on it is we see more of a single high safety with him than we do with other 4-2-5s. Other 4-2-5s will actually play like almost like a 2 high safety. And that Husky position will be your almost what would be considered the guy who comes up and plays over like a slot at times.
Yeah.
Which is weird considering they're like a linebacker / safety, so they have to have size, but they also have to have like speed and coverage skills. So he doesn't do it that way. His rover takes over that slot safety, or that slot receiver. Yeah, and his husky will come down and play the opposite. So typically, with the way they'll run it, and you probably know this with a little bit with the way they run these strengths, right? He runs those strengths based on the wide side of the field, the middle, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's run either based off a tight end or where the max like receiving or running threat is. Let's say running threat in this situation, because the receiving threat and running threat changes a lot within this 4-2-5. There's some unique changes in it, but so it's interesting to see the way he looks at it from his standpoint in the little twists he put on it to make it work. And I think with this personnel, because you're right, like most running teams would probably be, and if you're a stud running back, you'd probably be kind of excited just from a standpoint you can isolate certain people.
Exactly.
And again, a 4-2-5, you can like isolate like a backside. If you have like a weak edge or a weak bandit, weak bandit, So, but this one, there's just nowhere, and I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what we might see with some of this tonight, just because we're seeing. You look at that depth of the defensive line and the edge spots, and you're just like, oh my good, what do you do?
Yeah,
like what do you do?
I'm anxious to see that, though, Miro.
I am too. That's probably one of the areas for me I'm most excited to watch. Right?
Yeah, me too, man. I'm anxious to see that because 4-2-5. If I remember, it didn't have a lot of line slanting. It didn't have a lot of. It was a simpler defense, right? Mm-hmm. The 3-4 to me is for the coach that want to tinker with everything. You want to tinker with every damn thing, right? Yeah. The 4-2-5 was just solid, right? It's not a gap. It ain't too much of a gap scheme like the 3-4. You know what I mean? So maybe it's gonna work out well, man. Right? I just, you know me, I'm a pessimist by nature, bro. When it comes to football, I have to see. See, Smook is the one. He's the optimist, right? Okay. It's gonna be okay. Smook is the one. We down. Man. If we down 30-10, and it's 2 minutes left to go, Smook, we finna come back. Trust me. I'm like, nah, bro. We got an ass kick. That's me. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
Let's see right here. Here we go, Miro. Lynn Shanifeld. Shout out to Lynn. So, Coach Sean, do you play golf? We have a Bama X Players golf outing coming up, and want to know if you play golf. If so, I could get you in, sir. With us, sir. Miro, where did you play ball? Lynn, I can tell you from me and Miro both starting off, thank you for that $10 super chat, brother. Roll tide to you, Lynn. And to answer your question, Lynn, I have never played golf a day in my young life, right? I think I would kind of suck at it because I suck at pool, right? I just don't know if I don't know the difference in the clubs, hitting the little ball. I've been to Top Golf and I absolutely sucked at that. I was terrible with a capital T, like not even bad. I was
terrible. Top Golf, no, Top Golf. If you can just, for me, like I love to get out there with the driver and just go to work at Top Golf. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't pick up golf until I don't know, probably within the last 4 or 5 years, but just getting out and kind of learning the game a little bit, because man, you want to talk about a mental game, and then really technique and mental. I'll tell you what, you got to really know this. I mean, your form has to be on the money, and the way you turn the club head, right, and where your power comes from. It's not like just going out there and swinging for the trees,
which is what I was doing. Right. Which is what I was doing. Look, Ebony Carter. I was at Top Golf, and I had a few adult beverages. I thought I was Tiger Woods, man. I felt like Tiger Woods. I felt like Jack Nicholson. I thought I was Jack, bro. I felt Jack's spirit in me.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I was terrible, bro. They was taking videos of me, and I watched them when I wasn't quite as inebriated, and I was terrible. I sucked with a capital. I was awful, bro.
You're just feeling good. Swing through, man. Swing through. It doesn't matter which way that ball curves. I'm just swinging through.
Right? Listen, I'm about to get up out of here. Shout out to the undefeated. Kareem Hood. What's up, Kareem Hood 40? Super chat, $2 super chat, Kareem. Thank you, man. That's straight from
100%.
everybody on staff. We thank
Yep.
you for that, brother. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you
Yep.
over here. And roll tide to you and your family, man. I'm gonna get up out here, let my brother Mel cook. JM, listen, I
What's up?
appreciate you, my friend. I'll be listening. I always have it listening while I'm in the shower. I have the phone up
I,
going while I'm in
I
the
love it.
shower. Counter over there, and I'm in the shower. So you guys have a great night. Merrill is about to light it on fire, as I know he did, as he know he do. Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Coach Smook. Shout out to Coach J. Shout out to Lady T on the wheels of steel, if you will. And shout
That's
out to
right.
Kyle. You know what I mean? JM
Yep.
about to go and knock it out the park. Roll Tide to you all. Jake, holler at me if you need me for anything, brother. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
100%, Coach Sean. Roll Tide to you, and man, just awesome. I love it.
I,
I love it.
I,
Love being interacting with you, man, every single time.
I appreciate you, my friend. Shout out to Carla Bailey. Shout out to Marquita, Dr. 334, Caitlin, all y'all, man. Much love. Till tomorrow.
Roll Tide, Coach Sean. Hey, Coach Sean, everybody. Man, I love his stuff, man. Just my humble opinion. I love it. I love it. Coach Sean just does such an awesome job every single time. And let me change this view up for you guys and see what we can do. I do not see my graphic loaded, but that's okay. That's all right. We can still play with this and get it right. We can get it spot on. Let's see here. Boom. Let's see where we're going. We can still get this up here and make it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's all right, right? So, but anyhow, I do want to say what's up, and I don't see my graphic in here right now. So that's cool. We can still play with my topics, and I can tell you my topics tonight. But in the meantime, why don't we do this and just give a shout out to everybody? I love that we got the music going tonight. Happy Monday evening to you all. So happy to come back with you. I hope you guys tuned in this morning. We talked about some fun subjects. We talked about these incoming offensive linemen. If you haven't watched the video that me and Ty Hayes did from Roundtable Sports, you should go check it out. If you did watch it, I hope you liked it. We talked about the offensive line. We talked about some key little aspects. We actually discussed, well, I dropped a little nugget in there on that SMU offensive tackle. Sounds like he's more of a lean to USC, but we'll see what happens, right? You never know today. You never know. In the meantime, let's give a shout out because I do see some people in here. I love it tonight. There's some funny names in here too tonight. I think I saw Hunter Biden. That's a good one. I love it, unless it actually is him. That's interesting. Good for you, man. Roll Tide. I'm glad you like Bama football. DR334, what's up, man? Wade's World, what's going on, my friend? Caitlin Ingle, how you doing? Richard Cook, what's going on? Michael Hammock, what's up? What's up? Sean Williams, how are you, man? Again, Lynn, Shane Felt, right? I appreciate you. You asked a question earlier, where did I play ball? I play ball, if talking from the college standpoint, University of Washington. Darkwing Duck, what's up, man? What's going on? Kimberly Harmon, how are you? Kareem, we appreciate that. Just hopefully just that $2 just to make you laugh, right? That was pretty good interaction and kind of funny, the stories there. Love that. KT, what's going on? How are you? Marquita, how are you? Sean, what's up? Coin God, what's going on, man? Jeremy Sanders, yo. Ebony, how are you? How are you this evening? I love it. Jermaine Mims, my man, what's up, dude? What's up? I love this. Love this. Goofball, how are you? I know I saw some LaQuisha Gordon. Hey, what's going on? Goofball, oh, you're still here. Okay, I got you. Marvin Waffle House. I knew I saw you in here somewhere. Who else do we got in here? I know I saw a few other names. Just quite a bit. There's quite a bit tonight. And I love it. I'm excited to come. Make sure you run the thumbs up. Subscribe, become a fan funder. You can see some of these videos and the special ones that we continue to put out. There's going to be some exclusives behind the scene. You guys will really like that. Carla Bailey, what's going on? Love this. Awesome night, and you got a great crowd here tonight. I see that the chats are going off. Steve, what's up? Sweet Home Bama, how are you? I love that, man. And Sweet Home Bama, again, I know we heard it a few times, but I played at the University of Washington. I played safety. Back in the day. So it's been a minute. Ruben, what's up, man? What's up, Ruben? I knew I saw some other familiar names in here. There's a lot in here tonight, and I absolutely love that. Ronald, how you doing, man? How you doing, Ronald? Rich B, what's up? So yeah, we got some subjects tonight. It's not I don't necessarily have the my graphic. I don't know where it's at. Typically it's there to load. and it is what it is. So it's not there to load. But I can tell you the subjects I'm going to go over tonight, right, is who I kind of tried to get to it today, but it's a little more difficult. But who could leave for the spring portal? All right. We got that one. We got the coaching announcements, the official coaching announcements. All right. I like that. That's pretty good. And that's between Mo Linguist and Colin Hitchler. And so we're going to talk a little bit about them some more, just from their standpoint. We have, on the next one, we had what's the most needed position for the 2025 recruiting class. I think that's going to be an interesting one, considering where there's been a lot of offers that have gone out. What position group seems to have way more offers? I know there's certain groups we will offer just from a standpoint of you need to have that depth, but where do we see based on these offers that their focus is more like leaning towards? That's an interesting topic. I want to get to that topic. And then the next one from there, right, is the 3 to watch in spring. So that's going to be a fun one too, because there are some players and I think some guys that, we going to see, who is it going to be that we really need to pay attention to? There's so many people that we could pick, and we'll see, we'll see. So I'll tell you this, as far as Top Golf goes, all right, just real quick, Top Golf, Coach Sean at Top Golf. I like Top Golf. All right, it's fun. It's a good time. You can go there. You can see how cool it is with the lights and stuff. They have good food. Top Golf has always been a lot of fun. You know what I mean? So for me, right, like you go into Top Golf and you got to hit that ball, and you're right. You have a drink or two. You just go swing for the fences. It's always funny to see how sharp you can curve that ball, right? And Coach Sean was saying, it's great, man. It's great. It's fun to watch, and I love myself some Top Golf. But I will tell you, from a standpoint of what we're looking at with the spring portal coming around the edge, who do we think could enter or could be a name we see in the spring portal, or a few? And that's something that's been a big one for me. And as you guys have questions tonight, those super chats are super helpful, because they do pop up. I see them and I get to that, and we very much appreciate it. But also throw those questions out, and I'll try to get to them as we roll. Okay, we'll see. But like I said, with the portal, who do we have, and who could we really pay attention to? I think for me, and Jeremy Sanders, you just brought this up. The one area for me that is one I am watching big time is the quarterbacks. And I tell you, hey, what's up, man? How you doing, Terrence Miller and Travelpreneur Sports Podcast? What's up, man? Good to see you in here. What's going on? So, and we are live. Yes. So, but yeah, the quarterback position, right? That quarterback position is going to be interesting from a standpoint that some people asked, right? Joseph, what's up? Some people asked if, we would see a quarterback maybe potentially enter, but they also asked, would that competition run from spring, right? From spring into fall, or would it be done after spring, that QB competition? Because it is the biggest question out of everything on going into this, right? And, and who could it potentially be if we see someone leave? I do think there is a potential that we could see one of them leave, these quarterbacks. There's some guys, and what it comes down to for me is who could it be between maybe Ty and Lonergan, right? Or Simpson and Lonergan. So I that's been a hard one. I've been trying to kind of play with that one. I think Ty, after battling it out, right, last year, would he get tired if he does not get that chance and feel like he deserved it, right, this year, and say, okay, I'm just going to bounce? Or if Ty feels real confident, because, we look at him too, right, for this next year, he gets a year to sit in the system and then potentially get into a spot where he does get to really make a name for himself. And he's like, I'm going to stay. But I would say this, I don't know from a standpoint of Lonergan. And the reason I say that with Lonergan is you look at him, right, and he does I mean, his dad played I think his dad played at Penn State, so it'd be interesting to see on him if he would choose to stay. That just from that standpoint, like would his dad bring something up, right? And say, yo, it might be worth it for you to try your name in the portal and look at other options. I don't know though. I mean, again, or right, Ephraim, you say something. Will he, I mean, does he just kind of transition over to baseball? Because the guy's supposed to be a baseball stud. If he were to choose to enter. Now, this is all speculation, right? We're not saying anyone's brought this up. We're not saying anybody's mentioned anything about going in the portal. It very well could be the case that we don't see anyone enter the portal and we're all good. But that quarterback position is one of those positions where you do want to try to get the most like show your value as quickly as possible so you can get into the NFL, right? The beauty of this offense is that you have that option. The issue, I think, why I think Lonergan would make a little more sense is from the standpoint that he would be in same, I think, equal competition with Austin Mack, right? That's an interesting one because I would tell you I don't know if he would beat Mack out, and the reason I say that is because I think you look at Mack, I think that the guy for how young he is an absolute stud, and he's just going to get better. He's had a chance to sit there underneath Penix at Washington, and now he's coming over here, and he knows he's not going to start this year. And Byron Walker, what's up, man? Austin Mack would start if he stayed at Washington. Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know. Will is pretty good. That the quarterback coming from Mississippi State. He's pretty good. They got him. And not to mention they convinced him to stay, and his commitment. So, but I will say with Mack here at Alabama this next season, would he still be okay? And I think he would. Seeing Ty kind of take over the reins, because that's where I would see that this potential movement. You know what I'm saying? And where they would all understand, like, hey, we're ready to do this succession thing at quarterback. You've seen some schools really do that, man. And like, if these guys are smart, all you really need is one good year in the system to really show your stuff and really improve your draft stock. So for these guys, like, who do you stay? That's the, like I said, where that biggest question would come to with Lonergan is, would he be able to do that, from a standpoint of kind of fighting that out with Mack when it was his turn, right? I think the next thing on that too is we have to look at our defensive line. Like, I mean, the only reason I say that is because with this position, you will have some rotation, but dang, like, we have some serious depth at D-line. And so your next question then would be, what do we do there? What goes on there? Like, who would it even be if they wanted to move out, right? Because I think that if there were anywhere I would be of concern of someone leaving in the portal would be in our D line, like who would bounce, right? And I mean, and you got to look at our D line too. Like it's an absolute studly room. I mean, you got Tim Keenan, Otis, you have Tim Smith, you got Latham, you got Payne, James Smith, Renaud, Hill, Perry, Osborne. I mean, and then you got Overton coming in with, I think that's freshman and Beeman, right, and Faga. So this is an interesting room. That is a very stacked, full room for your D line. Now, depending on how we run the 4-2-5, right? I mean, it is a solid group of dudes. And if you are hungry and you want to get better, this is the type of group you want to be in that just is really competing, and that's kind of that would be the goal, right? And Marquita, you brought up something interesting. If they want to play within the SEC, they may stay through until fall portal. Yeah, they very well could. And I think that's going to be like the key one, right? So I like I don't know if I would say there's one dude I would pick to go into the portal from a D line standpoint. It will be interesting to see the rotation, but you then look at like some of our edges because we have a stacked room of edges who are about to. We got the freshmen coming in, obviously, with the guys we talked about in this recruiting class, with Noah, with Dixon, and then there was another one as well. But then you also look at the guys already here. Like, I mean, yeah, everyone keeps talking about, right, like Keon Keeley, okay, you know, and that's kind of the interesting thing. And Richard Cook, this is an interesting comment. What about taking a couple of D linemen and making them offensive linemen? Usually works out well. Potential. Could someone make that? Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Could someone make that transition? Who would it be? Who would be your best pick to make that transition? We'd really have to break that down. Now, the reason I think this D line has the potential to be okay and maybe not bounce in the portal is because if we run the bandit the way it's supposed to be run, there are guys in the position of that D line, right, that could easily fit into that bandit spot, right? It's your D lineman who's maybe a little slimmer, a little more fast off the edge, but brings that power to that weak side, right? Whereas your wolf can play back up off like a stand up edge, rush, attack, come down, but then back off the line just a bit. So that would be an interesting one. I am excited to see the competition that goes on there. And then would there be any other position, right, where we would say, man, who else would we look at? I did see someone bring up one of the wide receivers, right? And I don't know if wide receiver would necessarily be a room in this sort of offense or be a position in this sort of offense that would be of concern of anyone leaving. That would, you got so many different, you got a lot of guys, 100%. But if you look at it, with Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, Jalen Hale, you said I think someone said Emmanuel Henderson. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it is going to be interesting competition over there for sure of getting on the field, seeing who fits in where. I think we'll see some bodies definitely getting out there. You'll have your main dudes, and then you're going to see some good rotation. I think we got some freshmen that we're definitely going to see play. And you're right, Jeremy. Like we should see a lot of receivers get some production out of this. I think the other aspect of that, I really think that now with Caleb Odom moving over to wide receiver, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and how they use him. That's going to be what's interesting. So, and then I like the fact that right now these players are working their tails off. I like the fact that we're seeing more hype stuff come out. There's some pictures just released on Twitter of these guys still doing work, right? Everyone's really excited. If you haven't, one thing I will say, and I want to highlight this, is Aaron Hodges, right? Aaron Hodges, okay, from TCU. He spells the difference like ERON. That dude is a stud. And I know the reason I talk about him is because of all the work he's doing. I mean, he is active all the time. And we've heard, just from a standpoint, he does come from he has a little bit of mixture where he gets his feet wet with Ohio State during Urban Meyer time frame. But man, this guy is he is so active, right? He's so active. And I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting to see how he impacts this recruiting, I guess, atmosphere, because supposedly this guy is a stud behind the scenes, and that's what he's come into in this role, right? And working as assistant with assistant director of player personnel, I believe, assistant or associate director. Excuse me. But that's one area I will say that is very, very impressive. I really think that guy is phenomenal, and it's interesting to see what he does in this off season as the players go through, as the coaches are really focusing on making these guys the best they can be. It'll be interesting to see how he plays such a key role. We're starting to hear so much about from different players. I mean, it is constant feedback right now of some really good players, some studs of what's going on from the recruiting standpoint. And that's where I think you see Aaron Hodges playing a unique role behind the scenes. Obviously, you have Jatavius Sanders back there, right, who's also a stud recruiter. I know our coaches are reaching out and doing their thing, but they're also getting this team prepared. But then you also have the king of it all is Courtney Morgan, right? Because he helps also very much facilitate a lot of this. So you have a killer staff in place behind these coaches who just do such a good job. You know what I mean? But that kind of just brings me into this next topic, and that is our coaches being announced. We saw today that we officially announced Mo Linguist, right? And we officially announced Colin Hitchler. So that is exciting. It feels good. It feels good that we're getting these guys in the place. What's cool too is we also saw the announcement for football camp for Alabama football for high school youth in the kicking camp to May and June. You know what was interesting is this was different. Maybe it's just something I haven't noticed, but college transfers have an option to come to football camp for University of Alabama. I don't know how long that's been going on for, if that's new or what. I got to tell you guys, I got to say, that is a unique thing. I don't think I've seen yet that college transfers can come jump in for football camp. Like this is a high school camp. It's labeled as a high school camp, but if you're a college transfer, you can come to camp. This is a very interesting way of recruiting. I think a lot of guys miss out on these things. That there's a lot of recruits and a lot of maybe younger dudes or from smaller schools that are jumping out to, or especially from the recruiting standpoint, they're going to all these like big hype camps where they're going one-on-one with other recruits nationwide and trying to build their stock, right, based on how they perform at these camps. But I have never seen something where we're inviting college transfers to a combined 9th through 12th grade high school camp. This is interesting. So this camp is not, I can tell you right now, just from my own recruiting process back in the day, camp was a big part of it. I can tell you that. Like these new specialized 7-on-7s, 1-on-1s, we had the Nike Combine during that time frame, but not so much all these other ones that they have now. Like you have the UA Under Armour Next, right? I mean, there's a bunch of them. I could go through a whole list of those things. But what's interesting now is, a lot of guys maybe are not necessarily thinking about the camp aspect. Here's the deal. If you are a recruit and you have a school you want to go to, or a few schools, when is their camp time frame? Get there for at least a day or two. It depends on which schools we want to go to, but you need to get in there. You need to get in there, right? And you need to go. That's how you get noticed. I'll tell you right now. Like you want to get noticed. You want to get on the radar of coaches. Go in there and just ball out. Go in there and you get to put on these renegade teams, or you play 7-on-7s, or play full on 11-on-11. And I'll tell you, you get that opportunity. But now you really get to test your skills if you're getting potential. And it's Alabama, so I would imagine there's going to be some college transfers who want to come show their stuff, right? But again, you getting college transfers at a football camp, pretty interesting, very different. Something I hadn't heard of, and I like it. It feels innovative, unless it's something that's been going on and I just didn't know. But it's cool. Like this is good. So I think you go from there. You look at Mo Linguist and Hitchler, right? With Mo, I think he was a prior head coach over at Buffalo, which is pretty cool. I mean, he did all right. I think they did win their bowl game at the end, and good for them. But I think he struggled too. And sometimes your first head coaching position, if you also need to know from a head coach, you got to be you can't do all of it, right? You can't coach every single position. Mo is a great coach. He's He's a technician. He's been around. He's been to like 9 different schools prior to going to Dallas Cowboys and coaching the cornerbacks for a year, and then coming back out, right? And I'll tell you, like, Mo is a very smart coach, and the reason I wanted to highlight these two guys is because we just haven't heard a whole lot from them. And that's an interesting aspect, because we've heard a lot from the offensive line guys. We're hearing about Coach Cap now all the time. He's constantly putting his info out there. But we're also starting to hear from Coach Robinson, the new linebackers coach with Womack. We're hearing a lot about Shepard because of all the wide receivers they're targeting. We hear about Gillespie and Roach a lot because those two are like staples in the state and from the University of Alabama program of what they just do from a recruiting process, right? So I'll tell you, these guys, it will be cool to hear how they start to implement their moves in here. You have Mo, who has a long coaching history, a lot of knowledge, can really develop guys. He knows what the NFL is looking for from a cornerback standpoint. I like that considering he coached cornerbacks at Dallas. But then you look overall. I mean, he has that head coaching standpoint. They both have a label of co-defensive coordinator too, so I like that. But then you look at Hitchler, right? And Hitchler has, like, I don't know if we how much we really highlighted Hitchler in the past. His background is very unique. Very unique. He like wrestled in college. Okay, so this guy comes from, on top of that, and I just want to put that out there and kind of give you guys this. So, you know, he's with the Eagles as a training camp assistant. That's his like first like coaching movement, right? He's somehow or really starting to get into the scene. So he's doing a training camp assistant with Philadelphia Eagles. Then that's in 09. Then Kansas City, he's a player personnel assistant. And then he coaches for 2 years at D3. All right. And this is our safeties coach. Then he goes to Arkansas State and does his GA. So after he has this like exposure to the NFL, he gets to coach a little bit here at the D3 level, and then he goes and does his GA. That's okay. I like that, right? And then he goes to South Alabama, where this guy goes through the ranks. He doesn't, to become the coach he is right now, in a future DC, probably head coach, right? As time moves on. This guy at South Alabama, GA, promotes to director of football operations for 2 years. Then he goes in to become a safeties coach. And then he drops back down, and he's like a defense analyst at Cincinnati, and then works his way back up to a safeties coach in co-DC at Cincinnati, then goes for a year to Wisconsin, and now he's here. I'll tell you guys, this is from a standpoint of Coach Hitchler. This guy covers a lot as just a football coach from all these different positions he's held. Very interesting to think about his knowledge and how he uses that in the recruiting trail, right? Like, that's, I think, the key aspect in this. And you look at what he gets. I mean, he is the DB Coach of the Year, Football Scoop's DB Coach of the Year in 2020. That's why he's coaching safeties at Cincinnati. And then he is the rising star to know for assistant coaches by On3, right? In 2022. So this dude is, man, I like it. I like it. So this dude's impressive, you know? I like that. But I mean, we look at him and we look at what he's going to do, and we hear about some of these recruits, and I think that goes into my next subject of like, what's the most needed position for 2025 recruiting class, right? And the recruiting class is an interesting one because we just brought out this Studley recruiting class, and let me see if let's see here. Let me see if I got Jeremy Sanders. Y'all have to consider, will the online be fixed by the time we get to Georgia? Can we see Ty surviving our O-line if it hasn't quite been fixed when Georgia comes to town? I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think it is going to be fixed. I think the O-line's going to look really good. I think they're going to have those games to mesh in the beginning, right? The first 3 games to mesh and get their stuff together, Jeremy. And I think from there, I mean, you kind of like, I think the interesting part, obviously, what we all want to know is who's going to play what. Like, do we keep our key guards, right, in place? with Booker and Roberts, or do we move one of the guys? I mean, that guard thing is what it is, man. Like that's the hard part, right? Because Booker's like All American. He's going to be a preseason All American, no doubt. So, but do we grab something in the portal so we can feel better at tackle, or do we move one of them, which would probably be Booker, out to tackle? And if we moved him out to tackle, could we utilize? Then I brought this up before. Could we utilize like a Casey Poe or even a Rock Montgomery to fill in that spot and feel better about kind of this line play where some people like him, some people don't. I think Pritchard is gonna kind of push, right? I think he's gonna push for maybe. He if you look at him and Caden Proctor at left tackle last year, right? Like Caden Proctor, between him and Pritchett, who would you rather have? So I know some people were really high on Proctor. I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like Proctor was that productive. I know he graded out a little bit better, but not that much. But I do think from a standpoint that if we get a coach who really gets in there, because you look and see, I will say towards the end of the season, these guys were getting better, like as a unit, right? As a unit, we have to admit there were some things. Obviously, the snaps don't help, and there's other aspects, but as a unit, there was improvement seen. Now it wasn't dramatic, okay, but I do think there was improvement seen. So, Proctor was a matador letting the bill come on through 100, man. I think that would be the thing that is going to be the most interesting to watch with this O-line from that standpoint. And then, again, like you do have some, you got William Sanders. It'd be interesting to see as a freshman. I think he's still a little unrefined. I don't necessarily see him playing. But I do see Casey Poe making a break into that lineup potentially. It'll be interesting to see who meshes best. You know what I mean? Like that's that's going to be the key part. Is you saw that at Washington a lot. Is they were really trying to change some guys around just to see who would fit best. In how the line really, and injuries also come into play, right? So we have to think about that. But how that line can really mesh and move forward and still have success. I think that will be the benefit of Coach Cap, because he likes that versatility, and we'll see that with the way he coaches these guys and truly, makes these guys look good. So, but that goes again going back into 25 recruiting. Like what is our most needed position for 25 recruiting class, right? So we look at our defense, we look at our offense. The offense is definitely going to roll with a ton of wide receivers, right? We're going to continue to see wide receivers. We're going to continue to need that depth. But I'll tell you this, I continue to look back on this, and a lot of guys are like, wait, hold on. Where would it be? And Steve, you brought up a point here, is offensive tackle. So you're right. Like I think we're seeing that being targeted. And Coy, God, you hit something interesting with linebackers. Okay. Like so it feels like if you actually look at the amount of scholarships we've put out, and what we're really going after is there's almost 4 spots. There's 4 spots that really pop into your mind. It's linebackers. It is for sure wide receivers. It's offensive linemen, mainly tackle. You have a couple of interior guys on there, but mainly the rest of them are tackle. And then the other ones you see is defensive backs. Like they are actively looking at defensive backs, and you can tell they are peaking all over the place. I mean, they just put out an offer to, I think let me see his name here. I think it was Jabari, yeah, for Jabari Antani for LSU commit, right? So that's pretty interesting because he's committed to LSU. They a lot of these guys who go out there and say, I'm going here, and I know they're still going after an offered Mahim, right? And so who's an Alabama guy who committed to Ohio State. So they're going after these dudes. They are really going after these dudes, and it will be interesting too to see from a safety standpoint what they're able to like pull in. But from the cornerback too, is like what are they targeting? Are they targeting size? Are they targeting length, or are they targeting like lockdown speed? Based on what I've seen, it looks like they're really targeting size. I mean, you look at some of these guys, they're going after some bigger corners. They're not really going, dropping below 6 foot, based on what I've seen. Um, I am excited about a few of them. I'll tell you right now, like Dejon Lee, cornerback out of Mission Viejo, California. He's a stud. He is a stud. I think he's number 5 or number 4 cornerback in this entire class. I like him. I mean, he's physical. He's gifted. His mechanics are good. That's one that I really like. Obviously, Mahim Offord would be good. But then there's Anquan, from a safety standpoint, Anquan Fagans, right? I think it's Thompson High School. And he's kind of, he's still feeling it out from a safety standpoint. And these are for the DBs, right? And you can tell he's feeling it out. I mean, I think he likes Alabama. I think there's some others that he's looking at. And yeah, OSU definitely putting that NIL to use. They are, man. They're dumping. What's interesting is LSU with their 25 recruiting class right now. It'll be interesting to see if they can hold on to it by the end. Because I mean, they got running back, wide receiver, their quarterback. I mean, I think they'll hold on to their quarterback because just from an NIL, they're just going to drop a ton of money. But I do think the other positions that they're recruiting heavily are going to be harder to hold on to. I do think that. And I would like Fagans. He is trending, you're right, towards like Auburn, USC, but I think he's just kind of getting that feel for Alabama. Some of these guys are like, oh, I'm all in. And Corey Gunn, you're talking about Jared Smith. I'm pretty sure that's his teammate, the D end or the edge guy, which is kind of cool. That's exciting. So because if Jared Smith, if it's who I'm thinking about from the edge standpoint, he is high on Alabama. So whenever you get a guy from that school who is really high on Alabama, from Alabama, like those guys get really, really excited. And they can influence those other guys at their school. Now we'll see if that would happen. But I'll tell you, like, I think from that standpoint, we look at this room and we look at what areas do we need to make sure we're continuing to fill, or do we need to backfill? Obviously, the offensive tackle position is so big. I mean, you've seen it with their offers to Dave Sanders, Andrew Babalola, Micah DeBose, who I think he's going to be a big one. I think we're going to see him for sure. I don't know if he'll necessarily play tackle. I think he's more of an interior offensive line. Yeah. And then you have Mal Waldrop, who I think his stock is going to rise big time, and he's only a 3-star. But then there's a dude, when I looked through that list, which was interesting, was Keaton Jones. Not rated. Keaton Jones. So who's Keaton Jones? Maybe he just hasn't been seen yet. That could be one. I kind of was looking through the rankings trying to see but Keaton Jones is an interesting one. I'd be interested to see what they like about him. He looks pretty big. And then you got, obviously, a lot of people are talking about Mason Short. I don't think necessarily we're going to get him back. I think he is going to probably end up elsewhere. I know he dropped his top 4. Like Kentucky made it in. Georgia, Clemson. And then I think there's one other. I can't remember who it was. But I don't think we're going to be getting him back. But you look at the guys they're going after, they definitely are targeting tackles, and they're targeting some top dudes. And that's exciting. So I love that. We're ready to roll, like from a recruiting standpoint. And I like our kind of continuous look into, our DBs, but the linebacker position, that you already see how stacked it is at edge. And that's one of those things where I'm going, okay, because you got redshirt freshmen, and you got a few freshmen, and you got a good chunk of them, right? So we maybe bring in a few more. Could we move one of them to linebacker? How are we going to play there? But then you look at some of our linebackers coming in. I think we got 3 of them. They look good. Our linebackers look good coming in. So, what you're right, Jeremy, is like we got to win in-state recruiting. But I do think that is, from that standpoint, that there's a strong push towards that focus of year 1. Okay. So, oh, here we go. Hey, man, I think Smook's about to come on. So there's my graphic, everybody. I love it. I love it. Coach Smook's about to come on for sure. So we look at those and those positions and the linebacker aspect. It's really impressive that we're going after some of these guys, and the coaches hitting them up are definitely, definitely being, with Coach Robinson being a new coach from Baylor now over here. I mean, he's going after it, and I like to see that. I know, it's interesting too, and I think there's a few dudes that got some. I that Smook was helping me out with the back, and he said, "Man, I got you, man. I got you." Getting my thing up there. I didn't see it in here, so but it's all good. But what I'll tell you this, what's interesting is I think there's a few dudes who are up and coming. One of the guys works out with works out with one of the old DBs who's now coaches and does like a DB clinic. And he was a DB here at Alabama, but he's over at Gardendale High School. And there's been some film out on him recently. He plays safety over there. He looked pretty good. But I mean, again, he's under the radar, right? But then there's an outside linebacker over there, right? And whether he could play based on his size and speed, would he be something, and can he continue to grow his stock, right? And will he be a guy that we potentially see? So again, like these different schools around the state and through the recruiting, it's interesting to see like them jump out early on with these main names and the guys who are getting attention really early. But one thing I like to watch is who do they go after later, from a standpoint of saying, all right, we went after some of these like top 100, top 150, top 200 guys. We want to make sure that we're staying in play, but also we're working to find talent. We're working to find guys who fit in our system who are going to do really, really good. So I like what they're doing. I like their thought process. I like what they're what they're looking at. And thanks, Jermaine. I appreciate you, man. 100%. And overall, from a recruiting standpoint, it's fun to hear what they're targeting and how they're going about their business. It's exciting. So you got to give it props to this coaching staff for only being here for a month and a half, almost 2 months, a month and a half though, and they're hitting this hard. They're going after. I think we're going to see a good 2025 class. And I feel really excited about the 2026 class. That 26 class, I think, is going to be loaded with talent. Not to mention, there's some studs in the state of Alabama that I think will remain home and roll with the tide, just from the standpoint that you're going to see these dudes who see the excitement that goes in the program, and once they're clearly established, I think there's going to be some strong dominance at Bama, just very similar to the way Saban was, right? Very similar to the way Saban was with with going about recruiting. And what's crazy is there was another dude, and I don't remember his name, a recruit who came on a trip just within the last obviously month or so. You know what he said? He said, when I came here, Alabama, like the first time I visited the old staff, and he said, that was cool, man, like meeting Nick Saban. He goes, but I'll tell you what, this time when I'm meeting this new staff, he goes, there's like a new energy around Alabama. He goes, it was exciting. It didn't feel like just a cordial or a formal thing that you had to do to cement your name as a good recruit. That's an interesting comment right there, right? Was it Zion? That's a Smook in the back, but it might have been Zion Grady. Maybe he's the one. So then that's pretty wild. Because the fact that you have a recruit who says, I came here, it was kind of that process you go through when you've made it in your high school football, when you're being recruited by Alabama, you take a visit there just because it's Alabama, and you get it done, and either you want to go there or you don't, right? But it's something that it's almost like you pin the badge on, and you finally earn that stripe, right, to be recruited by Alabama. What's interesting now is you have these recruits saying, hey, man, and yeah, Cunningham called Bama wide receiver U. And if you guys know who Cunningham is, you look him up. I think it's Caleb Cunningham. He is a 5-star wide receiver. He's a stud. That makes me forget about Jamie for French for sure. Put it that way. He's a stud. So I'll tell you guys, like, Caleb Cunningham is good. And I mean, you got a lot of other dudes. Modern day is about to open up like a floodgate. I mean, there's some players who came from California before to Alabama, but just to give you guys like this thought process too, is it's hard. Again, Pacific Northwest, California is a little different because it drops right down below Oregon, right? But in Pacific Northwest, mainly is going to be your Oregon, maybe a little bit in Northern California, but Oregon, Idaho, Washington. But California on just that West Coast in general, it's Alabama is a powerhouse, but they still see kind of like a wider, I guess, it's not just SEC that they see, even though you have these stud recruits coming out of California, right? What I do like though is that with Shepard and DeBoer and that staff in general, Sheridan, they did a really good job at Washington of establishing a pipeline. I'll tell you right now, it is very hard to recruit to Washington. Like, Washington needs to open up their NIL pocket big time, because you're recruiting to a place that you get sunshine 3 months out of the year. Like, think about that. How many guys want to go up there and live in the cold, rainy, and wet? It's really difficult to do. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed it in the past, but it's hard to do. So from that standpoint, like, this is to think about it that way, because people are like, well, he can't recruit. Well, again, you don't have deep NIL pockets in Washington, even with the corporations all over Seattle, right? That's not there. There's not the same mindset as the SEC as far as what you're doing to support your team, right? I think maybe you'll see it turn around in time, just because it maybe opened their eyes with the board saying, all right, thanks, I appreciate you guys. Like, I'm glad I could help. I'm going to move on, right? But and I have no problem with that, and I'm still a fan up there. But I'll tell you this, like, it's just not the same. So, where I get back to is he did a good job for being up there in that sort of situation, in that sort of environment, to try and open that connection, those doors to Texas, because they had some guys that came in from Texas. Arizona is a great place to find some unique talent. I mean, you have Noah Carter, who comes from Arizona. I mean, stud, and he's going to excel here, right? But then so did Parker Brailsford. Brailsford comes from Arizona, very unique, right? And then he just did an overall good job, to really set it up that now he's at Alabama. He can open those doors back to California and that back to places like Arizona that maybe you wouldn't get the same sort of, I guess, presence previously, just because, again, California is a wide open place as far as all their laws. Just kidding. But also all of their recruiting. They don't just see the SEC, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So SEC is not just like California sees everywhere. They see the East Coast, they see the South, they see the Pac, they see every team, period. So it's a little harder from that standpoint to convince these guys unless you get that pipeline. I like what DeBoer's doing. I like what the staff is doing, and they've done a phenomenal job. Like, huge props to them to go coast to coast recruiting, and they've brought in the right guys to do it. That's why I think this 25 class is going to be a lot better than people have maybe given credit to the staff that what they're going to put together. It's just going to take a minute, I'll say this: we get into the last topic for the last 5 minutes, and it's the 3 to watch in spring. Who would be your 3 players? And I want to hear some of your guys' opinions. Who would be your 3 players to watch in spring? Like, who would it be? For me, I picked one right off the bat, and these are not your typical names that I picked. These are not your names we hear every day in articles all over the internet. These are not your main names, okay? Because I really wanted to do a good job making sure that we're finding the right guys to pay attention to, because we do got a lot of dudes, and I like that. Mitchell's a good one. Tony Mitchell's good. I mean, honestly, he is a good one. I can tell you my first one was LT Overton. Okay, because again, you have the stacked room. No, this is everybody. This is spring ball, period. Carter, Williams, Mitchell. All right. Yeah, this is everybody. I mean, there's a whole bunch in here, man. Like it, you know how hard it is to pick 3 dudes to watch, to say these are your 3 dudes you got to watch for spring. Damani Jackson was a hard one for me not to pick. And you're right, like cornerback's going to be a position everyone watch the whole entire time. But it's going to be hard, right? Not to pick like 3 names you want to watch. I had to think about this from a standpoint of who can make like significant impacts, all right, in their roles. And that's why I picked my first one is LT Overton. You think about Overton, right? He's the number 1 dude coming out of his class. The dude is a monster. I think he could potentially be pushed into a role, right, where you see him at a nose tackle or even the defensive tackle. The nose tackle plays the 1 technique. Your D tackle will play your 3 technique, right? Your nose tackle is very important. You have to have a dude who takes up 2 blockers in this defense. He needs to be the guy that everyone wants to double team. All right. So I thought, man, if Overton comes out and plays like crazy, like he just blows it up, would he be a good one to rotate in and maybe puts on another 15 pounds? Because he dropped weight at Texas A&M, right? So we'll see, man. Like that's going to be a very hard one for people to. I mean, it's going to be tough. Like that position group, that D line rotation is going to be really interesting because a lot of people thought Overton was going to play like a bandit. I don't necessarily see that. I think we're going to move some other guys over to bandit, and I think you're going to see a really unique rotation, maybe even at D tackle, right? And see if we whether it's with Otis or do we move Otis to nose tackle and Keenan in him, and then you also have like Tim Smith, and then does Latham come out? There's a lot of dudes here. And yeah, James Smith. Okay, sorry. Yep, James Smith. Like there's a lot of dudes here. So the next one I go into, and this was interesting was hard, like who do I watch in spring? Who do I want to see? And the only reason I say this is because of the unique change so close to spring ball was Caleb Odom. And changing from tight end to wide receiver, what's their plans? Like I want to know what they're about to do. Right. And I like that you had Woodyard. I saw some other ones there. Xavier Brown's going to be a huge one. Brailsford's going to be a huge one. I feel confident about him though. You know what I mean? Like the couple of these guys I feel really confident about. Tony Mitchell is a key one with Saab now here. Like what's he going to do? Yeah. Ty Simpson. I saw that. Yeah. Williams. Okay. I like that. Yeah. A lot of people want to know. Yeah. Q Rusaw. I want to see what he does because I feel like he's going to destroy people. That dude is just a freaking beast. Casey Poe, I really like Mbakwe. We'll see how refined he is at just focusing straight on cornerback. Richard Young is going to be one too. That was a hard one for me not to pick. And then, somebody brought this up a second ago with Hurley. That's my third one, is Jaleel Hurley. And it was hard not to pick that edge group, right? For you guys who have brought up some of them. I know it's going to be all of them, but you really want to think about like, who was it you're going to grab, man? But I thought for sure, for me at least, I go, okay, it's going to be Jaleel Hurley. Like, I think we've talked about all these defensive backs, and he maybe is not getting enough credit from a cornerback position, and there is going to be some competition there. I think you're going to see Xavier Brown push to play. Potentially, you're going to see Zay Mincy push to play. For sure, Damani Jackson, if he doesn't for sure take a starting spot. But then we are leaving out the fact of like Jaleel Hurley. And that is, man, dang, dude. Like Jaleel Hurley, I think could potentially really go off, from a standpoint that he's young. I think he played safety previously, but he has the ability, really good ability to cover in corner. He's big. I like that he's like taller, right? How does he run against some of these faster wide receivers? Does he play more of a field corner? Does he play a boundary corner? Like from a lockdown standpoint? Because that field corner, I've told you guys, really has to be able to move. So, Did Bama hire Hurley's high school DB coach? Man, I don't know. So, but yeah, so that would be, that would be one that I'm interested to know. And then, Coach Jay, are you trying to get in on this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Coach Jay's popping in here. Just 1 second, guys. I know we're gonna get everybody set up. 1 second here. But yeah, Julia Hurley will be one that. Oh, there we go, Coach Jay. Everybody, thanks, Coach Mook.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, Coach?
We're good, man. We're good. How are you doing?
I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I pretty much only got like maybe 2 hours of sleep, man. But like I said, I can't stay away from you guys.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you jumping in here for sure, dude. I like it, man. Yeah, we had some interesting topics tonight. I didn't see it in here to post up, but Smook jumped in and helped me out partway towards the end, so we were able to get my topics up here. But yeah, man, like we were just talking about this, like some of the 3 guys to watch in spring, and it's so hard to pick 3 dudes, So I don't know what would be kind of your take. Do you got any 3 special dudes you want to watch?
That's a good question, because it's not a brand new roster, man. But there's so many young guys. There's so many young guys now. Well, of course, Ryan Williams, we won. That'll be the one person.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know if is he coming in the spring or is he coming in the summer?
That's a good question with him doing his signing just recently. He might be a summer guy.
Okay. Well, I definitely would say Justice Haynes. Cause I think he should be the lead guy. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's Jam, maybe it's Richard Young, maybe it's somebody else. I think it should be Justice leading the charge.
Yeah.
Jalen Miro will be number 2 because I want to see him implemented in this new offense. I think they're now starting to finally implement it now. So I want to see how Jalen Miro. I mean, again, we're not going to see the complete package, but I want to kind of get a sneak peek of how he can kind of handle this offense. And especially how much he can kind of improve more as a pocket passer. Can he go through his progressions? Can he process, how fast can he process the information that's kind of given that to him? That's a lot of, and like I said, this offense is catered to fixing his short to intermediate game. It's going to make it a lot easier for him. So I want to see if he can kind of get that down, grasp it. And I'll say the last player to really look out for.
Yeah.
Is I'll say Parker Brailsford. I want to see how he's implemented in this offensive line as well, because the center position is weak, and have him there, a very experienced guy, and just seeing him meshing with that interior with Booker and Roberts, that is going to be interesting to see. That's going to be very interesting to see. But besides that, tackle battle, you want to see what's going on at right tackle and left tackle. You want to see what's going on with your secondary. Of course, everyone's going to take a look. Well, who's going to be the guys there in the secondary who can replace Caleb, Terrion, and Kool-Aid? So we'll see. But overall wise, it's a spring game that I think. Well, like we always keep saying, hey, we look forward to the spring game. I think I really look forward to this thing. I think we all do, because it's a brand new team, almost damn near brand new team with new defensive philosophies, new offensive philosophies, and it should be an interesting one.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Is like there's so many spots that you can go and you can talk about, like who's going to be your guy or your 3, or even you could probably list about 15 of them, if not more, of who's going to be these guys who come out and really just go off, like just because of. I think the key here is going to be talking about is like these guys is their kind of mental focus, but also they're feeling good, which is just based on the comments we've seen from some of the players out there and doing the work. That there's something about it that when you get in this mentality where you feel good doing something, and you're enjoying it and you're loving it again, and there's this it kind of inspires this new passion. I think we're going to see that with some guys. And I think we're going to see them take their game to like another level. And I do. I think the competition is going to be through the roof. I just think that's going to be the most exciting part is everybody's going to be elevated because the competition is going to be through the roof. There's something to be said when you do something for so long. When Coach Saban's running the same program for so long, and it's successful and it's amazing, absolutely love it. But I think when you bring some new, different energy into it, right? Some new juice, it kind of inspires guys to look at it in maybe almost a new way and start getting after it hard again in just like this competitive style, right? I've seen it before with other coaches when coaches leave. Granted, again, Nick Saban's the GOAT, and we're not saying that his process doesn't work. That's not it at all.
Right.
But I think it's just something new. You know what I mean? Did you hear like the other coaches now officially being announced with Hitchler and Linguist?
Yeah, I saw Hitchler, Linguist, Courtney Morgan. As far as player personnel, he was hired. So yeah,
Okay.
it's we're starting to be get these official names out here. I'm thank God that the nightmare is starting to come to an end. It's been a long couple months, man. It's just been rough, but we're starting to get things together now. Again, I think the most important part now is that we can focus on implementing both the offensive and defensive philosophies, and let's just get it going. Just get it going. So I'm like I said, I'm glad that the nightmare is over.
Yeah, I'm stoked. What was your? I don't know how much you got on this, but I also want to jump into this. Like, how did you feel with that? Like Tennessee's ruling versus NCAA?
I talked about this with Coach Sean yesterday. The NCAA is over as we know it. It is done. We are going to get the AFC and the NFC conference. It is going to come in real life. The Big Ten, the SEC will roll over. NIL. I mean, there's nothing. The NCAA cannot do anything about NIL. They can try to pull as much restrictions. Let's be honest. We all knew Tennessee, Virginia. They try to make a just a statement. They try to make an example of those two schools to really enforce, because they know they can't really do that much, but they wanted to enforce some sort of authority, and they failed. It backfired on them. So now that Tennessee and Virginia has, these two schools, and these are not small schools, like Tennessee's a major school, but, now that they pretty much, the NCAA has been the bullet, now you have these other NIL huge institutions in huge areas like California, like you got California, you got the New York State region, Ohio is one of the biggest NIL regions, Florida, you got all these other states now, all these other institutions. They are going to take NIL, and they are going to it's Super Saiyan. It is going to be Super Saiyan level as far as what these schools can do. It's literally the end of the NCAA as we know it. Conferences are conferences realignment happening. Florida State borderlining on leaving the ACC. Everyone's trying to poach Notre Dame. Notre Dame they might not even join the ACC themselves. They may join the Big Ten. It's just it's chaos.
Wow,
chaos.
Isn't that crazy? Man, it's just so nuts. Like, and if I'm correct, I think Florida State, they want to join the SEC? Is that what their goal was?
The Big Ten. Yeah.
Okay.
The rumors that they want to join the SEC is the Big Ten. That's the school they want to go because of the academic standard. That's what they want. So that's what they want to do. Again, it's a diss at the SEC, but that's where they want to go. They want to go to the superior conference, which has a holds more of an academic standard. That's the Big Ten, according to them. That's where they want to go towards. It is what it is, But if they join the Big Ten, the Notre Dame is going to join. It's interesting because I think it's all about TV contracts. Well, it's not 100%. It's about streaming. It's about streaming services.
I know,
like the NFL and like Amazon Prime and Peacock.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, they want Apple TV. Apple TV, the Big Ten wants, even though they have a contract with CBS, as soon as that contract is up, they want Apple TV. But the SEC is battling for Apple TV as well. So you got all these streaming services. It's just like that's the future, right? We all know that cable television is dead. It's it's a dying breed. Everyone wants to have these streaming services. Netflix, they signed a $500 million deal with the WWE. You got they want to be in the football game, because they had the QB1, but they also want to stream NFL and college games. That's the future 10, 20 years from now. And it's going to be between two conferences at this point because the Big 12 is a dying breed. They're literally getting leftovers.
Yep.
The Pac-2 is, that they're not going to be revived. And the AC is a shambling mess. Florida State wants to leave. Clemson wants to leave. Virginia Tech wants to leave. Nobody wants to stay in that conference. So it's going to be the big two. It's going to be, we're going to live in an era where NIL has completely destroyed college football as we know it. And it's literally going to look like the NFL. It is going to be the AFC conference and the NFC conference. And conference championships will be dead. Conference, SEC title, like that's dead. I think even the brand name of the SEC and the Big Ten, I think that is going to be gone. I think it's going to be changed to something else. But yeah, college football as we know it, ladies and gentlemen, it's over. It's dying. It's dying right in front of our eyes.
It's so crazy, man. Like, it's so crazy to see that and to see how you're right. Like, at this point, you really do need to like look into the fact of like, how do we do this NFC AFC thing and get it done earlier than later? Because if the longer we wait, like the more monopolized certain things will get from a standpoint of conferences. Because that, I mean, you like with the Big Ten, SEC, like these other, like Big 12 is not going to compete. Right, ACCs did definitely disappear. I don't even know the Pac-2. Like, there's no way that's ever coming back. The only way you can see any of these like things square off and be okay is if we switched them around and broke them down into, like you said, like NFC, AFC style, and then South, East, West, North, right? And so you got those options, and it makes it a little more smoother. Like, if you're going to do it, just run it like the NFL, and at the same time, right? Then we do what Nick Saban says, which is if the players are going to sign contracts, and the same thing goes for the coaches. I've talked about this before with the freaking coaches, man, because this coaching, how do you be, going into spring ball and like you don't have a head coach? How do you be in a college level, like in the NCAA? Like, get the hell out of here. There's no way that should be appropriate. That should even, that messes with so much and so many kids who have like, they just want to play the game, or they just want to have that success. This was their opportunity. But because of coaching changes and all these things, because people are not, there's just too much grab, like outside of when there's no rules around when you can leave and when you can't leave. And it's just crazy to me that we're seeing this, man. It's wild. And I know I saw a question in here too. I think that was up here. Is Drake Riley. What's up, Drake? Man, you become a fan funder. Get that name green, dude. But do y'all think having 3 defensive coordinators will help us this year? What's your take, Jay?
I like the versatility. I like the fact how no one is by themselves. If one person falls, another person can step up. If that person falls, that person can step up. It's a complete team effort instead of just one person having complete control and complete power. And that's for our entire staff. That's just not from the defensive side of the ball. That's from our offensive side of the ball. So they all have experience. They can be the guy if they want to, but it's more going to be more of a cooperating effort. I think the question is will egos kind of clash? Because when you have 3 guys that has experience as being defensive coordinators or co-defensive coordinators before, will egos kind of clash as far as this person has a different philosophy or this person has a different philosophy. Like will those ideals kind of clash? That's kind of interesting. But DeBoer he's made it a point to put together a staff that they all have to really cooperate on a level. And again, play calling duties, like who's going to be the one that's going to be calling the plays. That's going to be interesting. Who's going to be the one that's really going to be, setting the template as far as going into a game. This is going to be the game plan. Who's going to be the main guy that's going to set that precedent, or they're all going to have their kind of pieces into it. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But like we all know how some of this stuff works, how personalities will clash at times. And like I said, Coach Linguist, I know Coach Linguist. I met that dude in person multiple times. That dude, cool, he's not a hothead. Yeah, he's not a hothead, but that dude is an alpha. He's an alpha coach. He does not take crap. He's and like I said, UB, it's not a loud stadium. That stadium is like 10K packed, at best, and you can still hear Coach Linguist all the way up from the freaking rafters, cussing out kids and left and right. Like he doesn't play, man. That dude's an alpha. When you have those personalities continue to clash, I think that's gonna be the biggest question. Like when adversity kind of hits, what will this coaching staff really be like? But overall, wise, yeah, I love the diversity. I love the fact how these coaches can, that one person has complete control, and Coach Kayla
Yeah.
DeBoer believes that this is a staff that's going to come together and work together at times, and it'll be interesting to kind of see.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure. But Coach Smook and Coach Jay, everybody, you guys
What's
are going to
good?
have
What's
an
good?
awesome night. Woo, man. I love it, dude.
What's
Love it.
good, bro?
How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. You can hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Got to get used
like
to this, not having the new setup.
What are you using?
I got my I'm using my Mac right now.
Oh, dude, I like it, man. You
Yeah.
look good, dude. I love it. I love it. You look great.
I got a different webcam up tonight, so
okay.
Earlier,
Yeah,
I was trying to base one. Yeah, I like the camera. It's the audio that's bothering me.
Oh man, you get your setup all good soon, man. You're just getting settled in, just getting settled in, everybody.
I get cozy.
Yeah, 100%. What? I'll let you guys get to your segment. I know that for sure. You guys are gonna have some good stuff to talk about tonight. I can already tell. I'm gonna tune in. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Undefeated. Thank you, chat. You guys are awesome tonight. Thanks for tuning in with me, talking about some fun subjects. And enjoy the evening with the coaches, Coach Smook, Coach Jay. Appreciate you guys. All right, 100%.
Roll Tide, man.
All right, roll Tide, everybody.
Yes,
roll
sir.
Tide.
Yes, sir.
Later.
What's up, Jay? Let me fix this screen for us, man, so we can get straight. There we go. I'll go to 2, man. What's good, bro?
What's going on, Coach? When you settled, you settled in T-Town?
Not really settled, man. Getting settled it's been a good day. Today was busy, man. I was tired. I feel like I was like you about an hour ago, man. Just like drained, being on that road all weekend. Well, all day Saturday, and I haven't really sat down since I got here. So just excited, man. But every time I take a little nap or something, I feel another gear. I got to look at 2 properties today, so I should have my place by Wednesday at the latest.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, man.
What about you, man? What you got going on, man? It's been a while since we've been on screen together.
I just got back home like an hour ago. I had to drive to New York City and back. Because my, for the most part, my friend was stranded, didn't have anybody. Nobody pick her up, missing all the buses, stuff like that goes. So she needed somebody to kind of help her out, and so I was the last resort, and I was like, okay, you know what, forget it. I just go out here and just do it. So I went. That's again, I live, Buffalo, obviously Buffalo, New York, but that's a 6-hour drive to get all the way to New York City, and then you got to, bring her, and then you got to take her all the way back. So, man, that's draining. That was a draining ass drive, man. But just trying to do a good deed, man. Just trying to do a good deed. Hopefully, like I said, man, I knew her since we were kids, so try to stay up, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I didn't get to speak to everybody coming in, y'all. Byron Walker in the chat, Roll Tide, man. Tink, what's good? Caitlin in here acting up as always. What's up, Caitlin? Janet, Auntie Janet in the building. Tink again. Kimberly, what's good, sis? Jared, what's good? Our resident, what they call it, vocabulariist. My guy be getting us the definitions and breakdowns for everything, man. Everybody in the chat, man. DR334, what's good, man? What's good? Carla, how you feeling? How you coming? Hey, you know where I'm coming from? Tuscaloosa. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Y'all still up in here tonight. We got 167 in the chat. That's a lot for a Monday. I will say that's a lot for a Monday. Eddie, what's good, family? What's good? Travelpreneur, what's good, family? What's good, family? Marquita, how you feeling? How you feeling? Everybody feeling good? Darkwing Duck, what's good? A 10-hour drive would kill you, not good. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Jared be moving like that, though. He be doing that type of stuff.
Man, just put on some country music, you'll be fine.
That's how you think about some stuff, don't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be get you in your feels.
Keep your thoughts. Look at my wife. Hey, shout out to my wife in the chat, y'all. My beautiful baby. Hey, girl. Hey, baby. I miss you so much. It's good to see you in the chat. Look, she finally said something. She usually be watching anyway. She just said something. I think she finally missed me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Take you to get 10 hours away to be missed. But hey, I ain't complaining. Happy to be missed. But yeah, everybody, appreciate y'all for pulling up tonight again, hanging out, watching Bama football on YouTube. Staying in tune, intact. Not much news been coming out lately, so the fact that we're here and trying to create content for you all just shows you how much we love doing this for you all. It's never a burden or anything like that. We get motivated to come on here and talk to y'all. So I'm excited to be here. Got Coach Jay on with me tonight. They didn't change the graphic. We weren't, he was as you all can see, he was busy all day. So, well, we got some topics together, man. And him and Jake, they did a really good kind of roundup of what's been talked about for a majority of the day. And it's been a lot of speculation going into spring ball, man. Just a lot of spring ball speculation, being that it's literally a week away now. We start spring practice, so I'm excited, man. And so we could jump into our second topic, man. What's Kalen cooking? What's Kalen DeBoer cooking? I know they have a graphic of Kane Womack, but he's a big part of my philosophy of what's being cooked up here, man. And you were talking about it, having that defensive staff put together. I think one of the concerns that you mentioned about Mo Lindquist, very, very well noted. But this staff, I believe, is so fluid as far as their philosophies and how they want to control their areas of the field, and the play calling style that Kane Womack has. It's going to mesh perfectly. You see that Womack is going to be the inside linebacker coach. You go and get Robinson, who wants to produce speed rush, speed edges, right? Speed outside linebackers. You got a guy in the corners, Mo Lindquist, who wants to just teach man-type technique. That's what he loves to get his guys into, aggressive style. You got Coach Hitzler at the safeties coach, who's all about containment, discipline, eye discipline, all this, you get what I'm saying? All of these guys specialize in these techniques in order for this style of 4-2-5 to be successful. So, I mean, when you think about it like that, I think it's a perfect matchup, and that's why I feel like Kalen DeBoer is cooking. If you could just jump on the topic, what do you feel like is the best thing cooking for Kalen DeBoer? Like, what's really looking real tasty right now?
Oh, it's our offense. Because it has to be the offense. You have no choice, because there's no guarantee that this defense is going to, this defense last year was really, really good. And, we talked about this. We talked about before the season started, how this defense was probably going to have to be the unit that was going to have to carry the offense. And that's exactly what they did. They carried this offensive unit. And they still were ranked 22nd or 23rd in the country. There's no guarantee that they're going to be, back in this sort of place, especially with the amount of losses that they had. So the offense unit has no choice. It has to cook. And I'm excited for it, because I think now we're going to have the complete answers of whether or not Jalen Miro can be the guy, if he can step up and truly be the guy. Like I said, he's a great leader. It is what, he it's kind of like 2016, 2017 Jalen Hurts, when you know how good he is, but you're just waiting for him to break to the next level.
Yes.
That's what we're hoping for. That we're hoping he can break up to the next level. And I think the good thing about it is that, again, it's no Lincoln Riley, but Kalen DeBoer is his own man. He has his own offensive philosophy. It's been extremely successful, especially with a quarterback like Michael Penix, who, by the way, we have an offensive coordinator, Nick Sheridan, who took his game to the next level in Indiana, all the way from here to the University of Washington. So that transition was completely smooth. We got the weapons. You bring over Jerry Bernard, who can get some heavy playing time. You have Jalen Hale. Ryan Williams is coming in. You got a lot of freaking weapons.
So many weapons, man.
So many freaking weapons that you can. Kendrick Law. So many weapons compared to what you had at Washington. This should be a cakewalk as far as the talent that can be put together. But it's just about, can Jalen Miro take a step? Can he take it to the next level? Can he process quickly? Can he process information quickly enough? Can he fix the short to intermediate game? And I think that if we can do that overall, including because I know the receiving concepts is there, right? And it's not even. I'm not even going to debate whether or not the receiving concept is going to be well. Is going to do well with these receivers. This offense was made for receivers to excel, and guys like Kendrick Law, who can honestly be that next Jalen McMillan, as far as catching those bubble screens, as far as excelling in those short to intermediate routes. That's exactly where he can be at. you have a receiver, let's say in Jalen Hale, who you can utilize his talent, utilize his strengths on the outside if you want him to, and even a Caleb Odom who's making that transition to receiver, 6'5", 215 pounds. What did Washington just have? They had a Roma Dunze who's was around 6'2" and a half, 220 pounds, bigger receiver,
220,
who was able to kind of, again, he's not the smoothest route runner in the world, but what happened? They
put him in position for one-on-ones, dominate, give him the stick routes where he can use his body, put his back on the DB, like get the DB on your back hip. Like Kalen DeBoer knows how to scheme open those wide receivers, man. That him and Jamarcus Shepard. And let's just segue into the next topic, 6 speed, man. This is directly for the offense, just the first half of it. And before we jump into that, shout out to my wife for becoming a YouTube member, man. This is really awesome. Nice. That's crazy. Shout out to you, baby, for becoming a member. It feels good that she's really supporting this thing. This wasn't easy, y'all. Me coming down here and her staying up there with the kids, it wasn't easy, but we brought in, and because of you all support, we're able to, have faith in this move and do this. So appreciate you all, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all welcome my wife to the Undefeated, man. Officially a part of the Undefeated. And yeah, awesome. It was a question in here too that I wanted to highlight. Make sure I don't miss it. Okay. Bama Hater's back too. What's up, Bama Hater? Good to see you trolling again. And we got Joseph Davidson in the house. What's good, fam? Welcome back. Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you in the chat again, brother. So segue, 6 speed, 6 guys to watch. And the reason I said 6 speed, man, you all know Kalen DeBoer. If you didn't know, Kalen DeBoer has a like in the cars. And I have been using this analogy to describe his personality coming in and taking over Alabama. And kind of like the analogy or the metaphor I've been using is like Kalen DeBoer is a car enthusiast, right? And he started on the streets, at NAIA level, fixing cars, putting cars together, creating his little street races with all the rinky-dink parts. And somebody finally found him. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Somebody found him. He got a sponsor, started getting a little sponsor races and stuff at Indiana. But then he was like, nah, man, this ain't for me. I got to go and do my own thing. So he uses the resources he got there, goes to Fresno State, and now he's really building some cars, right? He done went to another hood, learned the ropes a little bit, and really showed that he can make some cars. And then Washington comes in and says, hey, we'll sponsor you, man. Pull up on us and do that same thing here. We got a little bit better resources, talent, a little bit more expansion in recruiting. You get what I'm saying? They weren't in a horrible state as far as their culture when he got there. Yeah, they weren't winning, but they weren't, as far as their culture, it wasn't bad. So you go into that situation and you take the guidance from Peterson, right? You take the guidance from him and you sit there and you're like, okay, this guy really knows what he's doing. And so when Alabama come and gets him, Kalen DeBoer is probably looking at this sponsor like, man, these dudes got the state-of-the-art equipment. They got everything I need. They got every camshaft, every chip, every horsepower machine, every testing, everything I need, every athlete. You get what I'm saying? Like when I'm talking about these parts. And so that's the analogy I've been using. So we transition into this 6 speed. I say gear 1. You started off already with Jalen Miro. Gear 1. That guy's the difference maker. He's your guy to watch because Jalen Miro, and I'm not saying if, I'm gonna say when he grasps the concepts and the fluidity of this offense and how simple it is and understands his assignment, I don't think any offense in college football will be more exciting to watch. I will even put this offense up against 2 a year, 1 full year starting, as far as the excitement you're going to see with this style of offense with Jalen Miro grasping this thing. What's your take on gear 1, man?
It has to be. That's what I'm gonna say. It's if Bama wants to win a national championship, we don't got a choice. We can't really say if it has to be if we want to win a national title. I would definitely, if I can add one player into the mix, it would be Parker Brailsford.
No, I'm not done with the 6 gears. I'm not done with the 6 gears because okay. I was just about to say gear 2, Parker Brailsford at the center position. Him having the in-depth knowledge of this offense. Take it away, Parker Brailsford.
Yeah. I was about for the most part, I was just about to say.
It's crazy that we didn't. Okay, Chad. Just so y'all know, we didn't plan this. Like we didn't have no conversation. So the fact that he's saying Parker Brailsford as number 2 is crazy. So go ahead, bro.
But as far as like synchronization, like that goes hand in hand. Last year, the low snaps, just throwing everything off, including on the last freaking play, how everything just kind of came apart, and just how Jalen Murrow, if that snap was perfect, that was a touchdown. If the snap was perfect. And it was a combination of every single snap that we saw from the entire of the year. And we kept calling it out every single week, man.
Every game, man. Every game, even good games. It was like a Achilles heel for us. Like you see Jalen Murrow complete two, like mid-range, not mid-range, but intermediate passes back to back and the crossers and stuff that he's supposed to be seeing. And then the next snap, Tommy Reed's dialing up another passing play, and we're wondering why we ain't running the ball. Well, Jalen Murrow was hot, and then you go back and look at the play. Bad snap to start the playoff. Like literally 85 to 90% of those plays where he just didn't see things, it was bad snaps. Him not being comfortable with having to find the ball and get his head up. So definitely Parker Brailsford in gear 2. Gear 3, I'm moving a little bit down on the offensive line when I talk about this gear. And I'm going to say the left tackle position is going to be the key to this offense really being solid. And I'm saying left tackle is talks about Elijah Pritchett, and then I'm hearing the rumbles of Wilkin Formby and Miles McVay making a push for both starting tackle positions on opposite sides. Being that those, I'm hearing Elias Alanine playing guard and tackle. Like the flexibility and the depth of this offensive line is yet to be exposed. So left tackle, being that right now, Elijah Pritchett is the kind of assumed starter with Wilkin Formby making a push. What's your take on that, man? As far as like how important that part is, and who do you see as best fit to start at that position?
Oh, it's very, very important. Very, very important. You lose, the right tackle spot, honestly, has kind of been more of a, again, JC Latham was that kind of the guy, but sometimes left tackle, we had no choice but to put a true freshman out there in Caden Proctor who just wasn't ready. Now he got better and he was able to develop, and I think he's going to end up being a phenomenal college football player for the next couple of years at Iowa. Wish he would have stayed here, but we struggled at left tackle last year, and a big reason why, because Elijah Pritchett just couldn't get it. He got murdered. Now, of course, when you're going against Chris Braswell and you're going against guys like Dallas Turner,
right.
But he got murdered in that spring game, and from there on, I think everybody kind of knew that Caden Proctor's probably going to take the job. So, hopefully, Pritchett again, he's got some things he's got to clean up. Again, he's got to clean up his hand technique. I think he can get us a little sluggish with his feet, with his footwork, but the athleticism and the size is definitely there for him. He's got to piece it up together. Olis and Wilkin Forsby, like these are big dudes. Like Wilkin's 6'7", Olis is 6'6", Miles McVay is 6'6", 350.
Yeah,
inexperienced guys, and now you're kind of working with a new offensive line scheme. You're working with a brand new kind of offensive philosophy. So it's kind of like, it's like they're freshmen in a way all over again, as far as working with kind of brand new offense, not to mention their rawness still is probably going to be there. Or I can't really say that. It's a question mark. We just don't know. We don't really know. So the one thing that we can lean on is that these guys got it. Like the size, athleticism, they have all the physical intangibles to play at a high level, but it's just all about kind of working with the mental things and just kind of grasping now this, trying to grasp this offense. And we just know, especially when you're playing at tackle, there's going to be growing pains, especially when you're trying to learn a brand new kind of offensive scheme and how everything's kind of worked there.
Yeah. And so what's crazy is, man, is in this style of offense, man, they lean on their guards. If you watch a lot of the run scheme and the run game, they lean on their guards to get out. So you got Booker and Roberts sitting there, and you got Brailsford at center, right? And there should be no miscommunication across the front. This should be a well-coached, well-disciplined offensive front across the board. But I really think the left tackle position is going to be important. If I had to go with somebody that's developing, I see him cutting weight. I see him in the training, and I see him putting in the work. And he was brought in last year as a true freshman. I'm talking about Wilkin Formby. I am so excited to see this kid get on the field. I have been raving about him for a while now. Miles McVay, I feel like is right there or, next to him on his heels, half a step right there behind. But I feel like if you were to gamble and put those two young guys out there, they would be the ones that are able to progress and grow quickly in this style of offense, because go look at their high school film. They both float across the offensive front. They can play just about any position. And when you have that type of flexibility and that IQ to be able to move like that, you can see some solid transition into college level. Last year, we didn't get to see a lot of work because of the circumstance of the offensive front and the quarterback position. But with this staff and this offensive scheme, I think we see a lot more opportunities for these guys early in spring. And one of those guys, I believe, will end up being the starter. And that's not no discredit to Elijah Pritchett. I agree with you totally. Some small technique things. But these younger guys, they are. When I watch Wilkin Formby, he's a little bit more athletic than well, I'm not gonna say he's a sizable difference, more athletic from an offensive lineman standpoint than Elijah Pritchett. And you got to think he's a year behind him, so it's one of those things where you're kind of banking on that progression of development to continue. Gear four, we get into kind of like the positions. Gear four was kind of different for me. So instead of doing one, I did a group of wide receivers, right? You remember how with Tua he had a quartet of receivers that he was working with that just, once they got rolling, it was like they was popping. I think this year, whoever the quarterback will have that type of wide receiver group. And I'm saying to the likes of, I know y'all remember when Ruggs, Judy, Smitty, Waddle, and really wasn't on that roster. Who was that fifth guy under Waddle? Was Bolden in that group with them? Was Slade in that group with Mechie?
Yeah, Bolden was there. Bolden,
okay.
Yeah, Bolden, yeah, because Bolden came. He was like a year or two prior towards. Bolden was 18. He was in the 18 class, and Mechie was in 19.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking about that group though. You remember how deep the wide receiver room was. I feel like the quartet of wide receivers that we're going to see explode onto the scene this year is going to be Jalen Hill, Jeremy Bernard, Kendrick Law, and Kobe Prentice. A lot of people want to throw Ryan Williams out there and think, but when I say production, as far as who's going to make the explosive plays, who's going to be the consistent ones to really create the identity for this offense and pave the way for this freshman group, who I believe will be the second group of four. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the phase that Kalen DeBoer is running into, or walking into. He's having all of this talent in that wide receiver room, and I think these young guys, yeah, they're going to compete and push for playing time, but I think they understand that they're the future. I think they understand that they're the real next step of what Kalen DeBoer wants to provide. And this group of seniors, they have a chip on their shoulder to prove that the standard is going to maintain, even though Coach Saban is retired. So you put a guys like Jalen Hill, Jeremy Bernard, Kendrick Law, and Kobe Prentice out there on the field at the same time in your 10 sets. Like, man, what are you talking about? Who's stopping it? Who's stopping it on like a 4-down basis, man? Who is really stopping it? And at that point, really, it doesn't really matter which quarterback out of our quarterback room you put back there, because somebody's going to get work, somebody's going to get open. You can throw a jump ball up on both sides of the field, and more than likely you're going to come down with it. You could watch Kendrick Law and Kobe Prentice, or Kendrick Law and Kobe Prentice. You just eat people up with their routes in the slot. So gear four is, that's gear four. Gear four, I put together a quartet of wide receivers. What you think about my gear four, man? You feel like that four, or you got another four that you want to throw out there that you could see being a key to this offensive pass game be a success?
No, I was about to say we can even throw the tight ends in there, because Washington for the most part they use heavy 12. You'll be surprised how much they use 12 with their tight ends, especially how they like to slip them under. How they like to just slip them under, like they kind
gear
of
five tight ends. Gear 5 tight end room. Go ahead. You going into it. Gear 5 tight end room.
These tight ends. And like I said, guys, Caleb Odom, even though he is a receiver, that's just the brand name. You can still use him as that wide. You can still use him. You can still use him as a big wide. As a big wide, or you want to use him kind of on that online, kind of that Dalton Kincaid type role, how Buffalo kind of used him, or a Darren, or a Kyle Pitts, how they would kind of disguise him a little bit up front off the line, and they would kind of slip him up. That's what you can use. And that's the grace you have. You got Danny Lewis, you got Robbie Oots as that H-back. You have
Yes.
CJ Dupree still there, who you can kind of utilize as that blocker, but kind of the more as that hidden weapon underneath too. You got weapons, man, and these Washington tight ends were very productive, despite Bernard, despite McMillan, Adunze, and Polk. These tight ends they ate just as much as those receivers. They're leading tight end, I think, 33 receptions. So, man, that's I'm telling you guys, just because we got a lot of star power and there's a lot of talent, and we all know this offense could be very explosive, doesn't mean that these tight ends ain't gonna eat. Because as much as we talk about Tua and those receivers, the one player that no one ever talks about was Irv Smith.
Smith, and that's he was really the fourth receiver. If you look at the receptions for that on that season, he was really the fourth receiver. Waddle didn't have as many receptions as Irv Smith. That was that same year. But to talk more about the tight ends, bro, I don't think people realize what Alabama did when they made Caleb Odom go to X. You know what they did? They kind of saved him the process of having to putting him as a down lineman and forcing him to block on the perimeter when, he has an athletic frame that you can utilize in this style of offense already. So you know what I see Caleb Odom being? When we go 13 personnel, right? 3 tight ends on the field, you might have CJ Dupree, Danny Lewis, and Robbie Oots as your H-back, Justice Haynes as your running back. And guess who's your X? Caleb Odom, a former tight end, a big body guy who's going to be probably one-on-one with any 5'9", 5'10", 6'1" DB, right? One-on-one right there. You can't leave the box. You got to put 7, 8 in the box, right? So what are we even talking about? And then don't go into the shift out of your 3 tight end sets when you split 2 tight ends. You mess around and split Danny Lewis out there with him, get you a twin. I mean, you basically have 4 tight ends on the field at one time, 4 athletic tight ends, 4 tight ends that, 3 out of the 4 they're solid blockers. 1 out of the 4, 3 out of the 4 are solid receivers. You got a do-it-all in Robbie Oots, man. It's crazy. Which leads me to gear 6. You got all of that surrounded: wide receivers, offensive line, tight ends, quarterback. Something that hasn't been getting talked about is our running back room. And it's a good reason why. You look at the talent in the room, you just kind of expect them to just kind of shine, right? You kind of expect them. But then you look at the offensive scheme and you look at the numbers, and everybody's highlighting the fact that Kalen DeBoer's offense had this crazy passing attack. But nobody's talking about the fact that they had a 1,000-yard running back. Nobody's talking about their 1,000-yard running back average 4.9 yards per carry. And then even against Michigan, before he got injured, on his 4 carries before the injury, it was 6.2 yards per carry. So you look at guys like Justice Haynes, who averaged, I think it was like 5.3 with all his carries last year, the few carries that he got last year as a spell back, as a pickup back. Even in the national, the college football playoffs, his 2 carries, I think he had 13 yards or something like that. 3 carries for 23 or 33 yards, something like that. It was something crazy.
It was 30 something yards. Carries.
Yeah, 3 carries. But the fact that he's averaging those yards consistently when he touches the ball during his early college career, it goes to show you that the quality of depth that we have. Because if he's doing that, you could just imagine what Jam Miller is going to be doing with his average, last year, 4.3 yards per carry behind this offensive line. You look at what Richard Young is projected to do. So I'm looking at how Kalen DeBoer was able to scheme up the offense or the run game. And if those guys were averaging in our old scheme, they were averaging right at 5 yards per carry. And the Johnson kid from last year at Washington was averaging over 5 yards per carry. I honestly believe that could translate to this running back room. That's just my personal opinion. You're working with a little bit more talent. I mean, Johnson was a hard-nosed runner, a great runner, but he's not Justice Haynes. He's not Jam Miller, and he's definitely not Richard Young. And to highlight one running back out of that room that I feel like is going to create a lot of value for himself with limited carries is going to be Richard Young. Your take on Gear 6 with the running back room, man?
Oh, I was one of Richard Young's biggest fans. I thought he should have been on the field a little bit earlier. But no, yeah, Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes. I'll be, again, he was still trying to learn the intricacy of this offense, but he should have got a lot more playing time. I think we all kind of agree on that. I'm just excited to see it. I'm really excited to see it because, again, I love Rodell Williams. I love Jan Miller, and I think Jan Miller as the third rotational running back on that role. Yo, what was going on here?
Oh, Sandman. I'm welcoming him back. I ain't seen Sandman in a few days. I had to give him some horns down, show him some love. My boy said he was working. Yeah, man. What's up, Sandman? We was about to put an APB out for you, man. We thought you got kidnapped, man. Hey, you know it's all love, man. You know it's all love. That's how we greet each other. He put his up, I put mine down. So that's my boy right there. I rock with you, Sandman. Look, nice horns down.
Yeah, but Jan Miller, I think again, if he's that third rotational role, I think that's perfect for him. I think that a tough, hard-nosed, nonsensical guy, he's gonna follow and do his assignment. He's gonna hit the hole extremely hard. Like that's the type of guy you want. You want to bring that guy in when that defense is drained out.
Yes.
He can go in there and just brutalize. That's what we need. But your two most impactful guys, the two best running backs on this roster from a skill set standpoint, is Richard Young and Justice Haynes. I think we need to go with those two guys and have Jan Miller come in as that third leading running back coming off. And guess what? There's true freshmen, let's say like a Daniel Hill, who's 5'10", 240 pounds. If he can step up in there and what the key is for young guys to play in this offense or to play for Coach G in general. You got to be able to pass block. You got to be able to step up there. Coach G is a big, and that's why Brian Robinson got to play as much as he did throughout his career. He had problems, holding on to the ball, but he was great at pass pro. Brian Robinson was like a linebacker at running back. He didn't mind getting physical, and that's what Josh Jacobs 2016 was. A 2-star was still the third running back on that team.
Richard Young will be the next Josh Jacobs for us. I'm telling you, man. I think you were alluding to Jam Miller being kind of like the spellback. I think because of Jam's running style, how different it is from Justice, I think you're going to use those two to kind of create that balance. But Richard Young will be a change of speed back. People are not realizing Richard Young might be the fastest running back in the room. It's between him and Jam Miller. And then the kid that's coming on campus now, Kevin Riley, he's a burner too. But that's his name, right? Kevin Riley?
From Tuscaloosa County?
Yeah. Kevin Riley. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, Riley.
Yeah, that kid's a burner, bro. He can get out there. But I think you're going to see Richard Young be used. And you try to get him 8 touches a game, right? But these 8 touches are like designated touches for him, and schemed up for him. You'll see him produce. You get 8 touches, 60 plus total yards, gained or whatever you do. That's a solid production in game. And then he's going to get his opportunities in the red zone. It's just I feel like you got so many options available in that running back room that it's going to be hard to defend. No matter how you look at it. And which leads me to our reality versus reach segment, man. And we're gonna change it up a little bit tonight. I'm gonna ask one, and while I ask one, the chat will respond. You will respond, Jay, and then we'll go through the chat and see what their answers look like. And while they answering, and I'm going through those, you think of a reality versus reach question for them, and then we're gonna get up out of here, man. We're gonna get up out of here. So my reality versus reach. Alabama's defense. I know we talked a lot about offense just a minute ago, but Alabama's defense under Kane Womack will be a top 10 rated defense in his first year as a coordinator. I asked this earlier in this when we first made the hire, and we started talking about the 4-2-5, and we kind of got to break it down a few weeks ago. With this coaching staff hires, with some of the talent that we're seeing on this defensive side starting to emerge, Alabama's defense under Kane Womack will be a top 10 rated defense. Reality or reach?
Reach.
You reach?
Yeah, I'm gonna say reach. Last year we had the 26th ranked defense in the country last year, and we all know how good that defense was. I think a part of it has to do is with the schedule. This is going to be a much tougher schedule. The teams in the SC has gotten a lot tougher. I think we're going to be going against better, more equipped offenses. And the fact that, and again, a big reason why I don't think we're going to be a top 10 defense this year is not even because of the regular season in the conference plays, because if this team makes the playoffs and they get to the national championship, there is no way in hell that this team is going to finish being a top 10 school, only because you will have other teams that won't make the playoffs and they'll have a 3-4 game slate. So if they have a good so if you're competing with who's going to finish top 10 by the end of the season, that team is going to have the advantage because they're not going to make the playoffs. I mean, Bama, the reality is you're playing 16 games. You're playing 16 games. And so that's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially because with the amount of talent that you lost, this is going to be very, very young defense. They're going to have their growing pains. I think it just makes sense. I think this is probably going to be a top 30 defense. And I think that's okay. I think that that's okay. Last year we said the defense had to carry the offense. This year, the offense has to carry the defense. The defense just has to do their job and do their responsibility. They don't have to. This doesn't have to be 2016. It doesn't have to be 2011. Yeah. I just wanted to be like 2020. 2020 wasn't a top 10 defense, but it got the job done, and we won the national championship. They came up prepared in the biggest games. We let 48 points happen to Florida, right? We had some points on the board. We had some struggles, but at the end of the day, the defense made plays when they need to be made, and it gave our offense an opportunity and score more points. That's what we need.
Jay, I gotta go for like 2 minutes. This Bama hater dude, this is my first time getting to interact with him, so I'm excited to interact with you, Bama hater. He said we'll be guessing on the top 10 defense, but the best tackler is gone. Man, you still talking about that? Kool-Aid is gone. The worst graded cornerback from the Michigan game, the biggest game of the season, got the worst grade as the DB. Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and LSU will put the D to test. I think we don't play Texas in the regular season, first of all. Oklahoma, we don't see them to the end of the season, and they're not really solidified on their offense side. They lost a lot of weapons, lost their starting quarterback from last year. He's going to Oregon. Tennessee, you talking about Nico, whatever his name is. I don't think he's going to translate very well into this first year as a starter. I mean, he's a talent, but we'll see him bloom late. Trust me. And LSU, what are they bringing back? The quarterback is it Nussmeier? Is it going to be Nussmeier?
Nussmeier.
They don't know. There's some rumbles down there. They got a serious quarterback competition down there. So you don't know. And for that reason, and last year, we talk about last year's defense, right? And I see a lot of y'all saying top 25. I think I won't say we'll be top 10, but we'll be closer to the top 10 than we will be to the 25. And that means I'm thinking between like under 15. I think we'll be 15 or better. Especially looking at the schedule, man. I can't. You keep talking about the schedule, Jay. I can't see this. This will be the reason why our defense looks so great. Look at the first 3 games. And these USF is probably going to be the team that really test us early, test our secondary. They may not have the athletes, but they will test our secondary a lot. They're going to throw the ball. That's what they want to do. Wisconsin is going to be a physical game. They're going to want to try to keep it a slow-paced game, keep everything in the box, which statistically should favor us with this style of defense. And you remember, this 4-2-5 is not a gap scheme type defense. This is an attack the gap. This is attack, swarm. Georgia will be an interesting game to watch to see what type of firepower they're working with offensively. They believe that this year be their defensive-led team. A lot of people that cover them, they think this will be a defensively led team. So what type of games does that form out to be? Maybe it's a low-scoring game, not much offensive production. Maybe a lot of field position changes. Over under might be 41, maybe. So that's not a very high-scoring game, but that keeps your stats where they at. Vanderbilt, don't see that being a problem. South Carolina, they might come in and do something early, but I feel like this style of defense is just something that they've traditionally struggled with. Tennessee is going to be interesting, being that that's an away game. How they handle that game, that might be the first game we see some kind of explosion from, giving up some yards on the defense. But I don't think they'll lose, or it'll be one of those things where Nico is eating up the pass game or eating up the secondary. It'll be off of some greatly schemed things from the run game, a good mixture like Josh Heupel does. He does a great mixture of doing those things. And I think he will see that keep getting the quarterback, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick will be a key for him to have the success against this style of defense, because I really believe it's going to be an aggressive defense. Missouri, LSU, I feel like they're just missing a lot, man. They're just missing a lot. Missouri, they bring back the quarterback. No, they don't bring. Did Brody Cook come back? He's back. Did Luther Burton come back?
He's back.
Okay,
All
so
the
you bring back
receivers
that, and you bring back that offense. So that'll be the first game where I'm kind of like, okay, this is the one. But we have them at home. We have them at home, and that's the difference for me. That's the big difference for me. This being a new season, this new era of the crowd is going to be a impact at all home games this year. I can guarantee it, bro. I can guarantee it. At LSU going to be another different one, but like I said, I'm not convinced on what they're bringing back. They're losing a lot to the portal after the spring too. I have a very good source down that way that's very, not necessarily connected, but when he's talking about certain things,
their offensive line's going to be good. I said their offensive line's going to be really good.
That's and see, I would like to think so, man. They got a lot of talent over there, right? Got a lot of talent, but how are they going to continue to develop, man? You're talking about trying to implement another scheme, right? In this season here, so they're making a lot of changes. So I'm not doubting it. They got a lot of talent there. It's not convincing me, And this is in November. By this time, there are no true freshmen on the field for Alabama no more.
I don't think they're because they're promoting their quarterback coach. They're promoting their quarterback coach to be their offensive coordinator. So
exactly.
I don't think they're that same philosophy. I
mean, schematic wise, but play calling style, is going to be different.
Situational. The style is going to be different, but the scheme should still be there.
We saw it. We saw the same effect kind of with at Mississippi State.
Right.
They kind of. You remember they took that same quarterback. He was used to a certain play calling style. They kept the same formations and schematics. It just was the play calling style was different. They started trying to make it more balanced instead of heavy pass, and that didn't work out for them. So who's to say what this new QB coach is? This new offensive coordinator style is. Does he want to build off of the run? Does he want to try to air it out with Nussmeier? It's a lot to be seen with LSU, and I think they have enough talent to carry over. It's about how quickly it meshes. You get what I'm saying? How quickly it comes together. By November, we'll know who they are, and they'll know who we are.
They got enough time to fix it. Yeah, they got enough time to fix it. Like I said, the offensive line, how they're going to scheme the offensive lineup is interesting. But yeah, you got 4 out of the 5 guys back. We got 2 of your best tackles back. Will Campbell's going to be a top 5 draft pick next year. Your receivers is going to be a question mark because you lose Brian Thomas.
You lose all of them.
You lose Lacey. You got Taylor. Taylor's going to be back, but it's Louisiana. I mean, Louisiana's got talent all over the goddamn place.
They still got Anderson. They got a few guys that we didn't get to see.
They got some guys there, and it's November. If we would have played this team like early September, I was like, okay, we can sweep this team. But you're playing on the road on Baton Rouge, November 9th. We know what type of team that probably going to be is by the time we play them, and so we'll see. We'll see how that kind of goes.
Yep, Mercer. That should be handled. Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma's ready for the SEC this year. I think they're a season and a half out. So by week 4 of next season, their 4th game of next season, I think Oklahoma will start to establish themselves in the SEC. I just think that personnel wise, they're not fit for the SEC right now.
I have to disagree. I think Ty will even tell you they built the last couple years. They have gone on the recruiting trail and they have prepared for this. They have prepared of getting players to play SEC ball. I mean, this past season was probably the closest I think I've ever seen for Oklahoma as far as what we used to see. We're talking like 2000s Oklahoma. This was the closest I think I've ever seen them, at least on the offensive side of the ball. And their defensive philosophy was even changed a little bit too. Brent Venables, he's talked about this for like the last couple years. They've been preparing for this. As a matter of fact, you can make an argument that cost them games last year because they tried to play too much SEC style against Big 12 sort of style type offenses, and it cost them because they were too stubborn, especially in that Kansas game. That was just, especially in that Kansas
ugly. And that's what I'm saying.
You ran for 400 yards in that game. I mean, they built. I mean, their offensive line is literally that's going to be the biggest offensive. Besides us, they're going to have the biggest offensive line. They the last 2-3 years, recruiting trail has been the best in their history. They have built their entire roster around the SEC.
They got some big guys this past class too, with David Stone and him being like the catalyst for that class. I like the talent, but that's the reason I'm saying this first year I feel like they'll have a transition year, kind of like Texas A&M had when they came over with Missouri. You remember Missouri hit the ground running.
They won 11 games.
A&M won 11 games
their first year. Yeah.
Not in the SEC?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
No, they didn't, bro.
2011, they were in the Big 12. They went 5-7. And then their first year with Johnny Manziel and Kevin Sumlin, they went 11-2. Missouri
I'm gonna go back to it. Missouri went to the SEC championship, bro. When they first got to
the next year. The next year, because remember we played them in 2012. We blew them out 49 zip for 42-7. 42-7.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, that's when we played them on the road in 2012. Then the following year, they played Auburn in the SEC championship game. But yeah, A&M. Yeah, I'm looking at right here. A&M. Yeah, A&M went 11-2. They lost to Florida, and I think they lost to Florida and LSU.
Yep, sure did. Yep.
That was the
that was the backwards year.
Changed his defense because of that game.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're absolutely right. I was misquoted, y'all. But yeah, man, I think this will be the year that Oklahoma. That's just my personal opinion. I don't see them. I see them being a solid 8-4, maybe 9-3 area. And for that reason, like I said, I don't think they're gonna be trash. I just don't think they'll be able to at this point in the season at Oklahoma. You know, it's gonna be a midday game. I like our chances. I like our chances against that scheme. Like I said, I think our defense is really going to surprise even our fans. I'm just the style of defense and what Kane Womack has available as far as resources and talent, man, is going to be something to be marveled, and it's going to give us that feel of like when Kirby Smart really got his recruits at Georgia. You remember how he just kind of just like, I can't believe they holding people to 7 points a game. I can't believe they haven't given up more than 60 yards in a. I really feel like this is going to be this year early on because of how relentless. And Kane Womack, go look at his play calling style, man. He's not a wait till you. He gonna swing first. You know, he got that shoot first mentality. He's not going to wait for the game to warm up. He's going to come out with the energy. So, and you got aggressive coaches on both, you know, all around him. That's a good mix for, you know, that's why Kirby and that Georgia defense was the way it was for, you know, that 3 or 4 year span. So I like it. And then of course, Auburn, we get them at home. Who knows what's going to happen with Auburn? Either they're going to be very good or they're going to crap the bed and just, you know, blow away another season because they got a lot of talent. Now, Auburn does have a lot of talent over there, but it's just about their mentality, what type of culture they have. And you know, coming up here to T-Town, I can't wait to see this one unfold. You're talking about Jalen Milroe, 4th and 31, possibly redemption game type thing, or, you know, solidify yourself, your legacy. Go ahead and end your career being undefeated against Auburn, or you might have Ty Simpson, the Bama golden child that we're just waiting to see you emerge, right? Everybody's waiting to see Ty Simpson get an opportunity. What if he gets the starting position this year and just, you know, everything we're worried about with the offense, he's what you all think. He's already it and gets to Auburn and gets to have that shine. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of narratives to follow, a lot of speculation. But yeah, that was a good reality versus reach. I thought we was gonna have to go to another one, but we're not. Let's get paid, man. Let's pay some bills real quick, Jay. Let me get this this screenshot up. Shout out to our sponsors, the Residence Inn up in Ocean City, Maryland. If you're ever in the area, go check them out. Residence Inn, Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at residenceinnoc.com. You use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing, up to 20% off on your stay. Y'all see that view back there? Y'all know we always get caught up talking about the view. So, yeah, man, y'all check it out if you ever get a chance. You ever in the area, go check them out. Shout out to Residence Inn up there in Ocean City, Maryland. Well, Jay, we've come to the end. Let me see. Let's see. Let's talk to the chat. It says Simpson some garbage. Oh, snap. Coin God back. Oh, my God. Coin God, I had a good day earlier. I got to do listen, Jay. So I got to do my first stream from T-Town today. You see, I'm here, right? And I was looking in the chat, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It felt so good to go through that chat for my whole segment and not see now. Like, I didn't have one troll, bro. Not one. Tell me God ain't good. Tell me God ain't good. You know what I'm saying? But they do. Freaks come out at night, so they here.
You must say count your blessings. Count your blessings, man. Count your blessings. I bet you when that draft comes, man, all of a sudden, and it's like maybe like one player draft. All of a sudden, are we going to do a live stream during the draft?
I don't know. That would be cool though. I know we're going to be doing combine coverage. I know we'll be doing combine coverage, but yeah.
I might go. I'm still waiting on I'm still waiting. I went last year, but I actually might go to the combine. If I go to the combine, I might try to get some live footage.
Mm-hmm.
I can see if I can get some live footage. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. We got NCAA. Oh, I cannot wait for well, I know you can't wait for it, but college football 25, you got that going on.
Don't make me pour no water on myself, man. The cool line, boy. I'm so ready for that. I went and seen my partner before I came down here, and we was talking about it because we used to have tournaments. One of our coaches in high school, he used to have the PS2 in the classroom, so they let you know how old I am. So he used to hook it up in the in ISS, and that's where we used to go and play NCAA, and then 06, 07, then college really got kicked off with NCAA 2010. That's when it really got heavy. So yeah, man, I can't wait, man. I played a revamped already. I love that it's coming out with a new one, but I hate that they're kind of changing the I guess you could say like the mechanics of everything, how to play it.
I'm concerned because it's the people it's not the old developers that did 14. It's the people that were with Madden 19 through 22, and garbage those Madden games are.
Yes, and that's what I was saying. So, but apparently a lot of the leaks, man, a lot of the testers, people that are vetted in the gaming industry, the esports gaming side, they're giving the good reviews, man. As far as the start,
we gotta play a demo. We gotta, like they used to do. They used to
you remember they used to have demos for like 48 hours, 72 hours or something like that. Man,
no, it was permanent. It used to be permanent. It was.
No, I'm talking about with when they started bringing out Madden. You remember that you could go and get the Madden League.
Oh,
yeah, right. You can go and get it for. But man, you remember they used to have the games in Walmart. You could actually go and play for a little while. They need to bring that back. You remember? And then you remember on PlayStation, you could play all the demos.
Yep, and as much as you want. Yep. The last one was it's NCAA 14. You just played a demo. And it was 6 teams. It was six teams right there. I think Oregon A&M, Bama, Virginia Tech. You just go in there, and just play what you want. And man, oh boy, that's when gaming used to just be good. Gaming was just
yeah. But yeah, Jay, I'm gonna get on up out of here. We're gonna get up out of here, man. Tell the people where to find you. Make sure we get them follows up on Twitter.
Yep, Jan716 on Twitter. For the most part, of course, catch. Try to get Coach Move. We gotta give him the 5K on the road. 5K now. He's big time.
Nah, ain't big time. Don't do that.
Well, but you got David Pollock and all these people responding to you, man. And
man, listen. And then did y'all see the clip that I showed with him? He was on Bubba and Rick's morning show, and he was like, they was asking him about the whole thing, and he was like, you know what, guys? Before we get into it, it was a funny tweet. Blah blah, and he re-quoted my tweet, and he just laughed, and you saw like the laughter, like it was funny to him. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, man, I've been trying to reach out to him. I'm trying to get Bama Nation to retweet him enough so we could get him on for Georgia week coming up next season. Try to get him on for the coaches show. So either him, and I also got Justice Haynes' father, got him in the loop. So I'm trying to get in touch with Miko Hardman. I know Isaiah Crowell didn't graduate from Georgia, but he did play at Georgia at some point. Jarvis Jones, it's a few Georgia alums that I could get on here. Coach Dale McGee, he's now the head coach at Georgia State. Congrats to him. Got personal ties to Coach Dale McGee out of Columbus, Georgia.
Yes. Hopefully, he can turn that program around. Georgia State actually need something.
But the thing is, he has the ties to that, like Georgia State, anything around Atlanta. I mean, everything coming out that's not getting D1 offers in Columbus, I guarantee you it's going to start going. They're going to be at Georgia State. All these 3 stars and 4 stars is not getting the Georgia offers or Florida or Alabama, Florida State, LSU, they're going to start going to Georgia State. They're going to start going to Georgia State. He's going to be the next, like Eddie Robinson was for Alabama State. He's going to be like that for Georgia State. Watch and see. I mean, he is the community. It's Columbus, all surrounding areas, Opelika, even on the Alabama side, he's respected. Right across the water, he's respected. So I think Dale McGee's going to have a great turnout. He's coaching his son there, which is awesome. His son is a quarterback. So shouts out Coach Dale McGee, man. I love that dude, man. He been coaching for longer than that, Coin God. I grew up around the area where he's from. So I remember when Dale McGee came to Russell County to talk to Jamon Fortson, to tell him to, not come out there and come to Russell County, but he was talking to Jamon Fortson. Jamon's family lived in Columbus, his mom and them. So when he moved back over across the water, Dale McGee was already on him, and that boy ended up signing at Florida State. Jamon should have been next, man. He should have been him. But yeah, y'all, appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. I'm at Coach Smook. You can go follow me on at Coach Smook on all platforms. Again, we're all trying to reach goals here. Don't forget to drop your likes on this channel. Make sure you subscribe here. Make sure you drop your like on this video. And then also be on the lookout. We got some new fan funder videos, some exclusive videos that just came out. Myself and Kyle, we just did one. And I think Ty and Jake's just came out also today. So y'all go check those out. If you like them, make sure you hit a thumbs up on them. Lets us know that you guys are watching them. We've actually been doing pretty good numbers over there. So continue to get people to fan fund and join the team. And with that being said, good night to everybody. And roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide.